That's bullshit.
Yeah, guys, like I gotta do this. Right?
That's bullshit.
Like even with this screen, it still doesn't work all that well. I don't really know. I don't.
Bullshit.
Yeah, warning. We talk about shit on a show.
Bullshit.
We don't do shit. We talk about doing shit. Yeah, there it is. I am here. I am elated to be here this evening with my fresh haircut. I would like to remind you guys the last time I did a podcast with a haircut this fresh was the last haircut I got was on a fucking Friday. What Friday was it? Anybody want to guess? It's the Friday we had to delete from human history. It was that fucking Friday. So let's hope this lucky haircut does better than the last lucky haircut. And that's all on my guest, Jason, tonight.
Welcome
on
to
Ballshit After Dark.
After Dark with your host, Sean Bradley.
Yeah. You know, I've decided if I'm going to keep doing this, I'm going to fucking do this the way I want to do this. And that's it. So I'm going to just take my time. And I'm not going to rush through shit. I'm just going to do whatever. All right. So this might be a new bullshit tonight. It might be the last bullshit tonight. I fucking have no idea. But we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere really, really, really slowly. I can't get to 1,000 subscribers, but I hope the Holdback Rack podcast girls beat me. So anybody listening to this right now, hit subscribe on mine, then go to Holdback Rack podcast, hit subscribe on theirs. Then you can come back to mine and hit unsubscribe. I'm going to see it. Like it's going to pop up. It's going to be like, this motherfucker doesn't like you anymore. And I'm not going to put you down in my little black book. I'm not. I've got my little black book's kind of full anyway. My blacklist. My blacklist is getting longer. But can I call it a black? Well, why don't we call it a gray list? And that way we're staying very neutral across the board. And when I say that, I did a podcast for many years and I said whatever the fuck I wanted to say about whatever the fuck I wanted to say about. And I had a bunch of people like, yeah, listen, good fucking go, bro. Good go. Keep going. Yeah. And it empowers you. It gives you this feeling that like, I can't, like, I know you guys go to shows, like a bunch of you probably just went to Tinley and you got to meet your heroes, right? Your heroes, your bros were all there. And when you met your heroes like Garrick DeMeyer, they were going off on Garrick in the Holdback Rack podcast earlier, like a god. And you know what I thought? Garrick deserves every bit of that. He does. He's a great man. He's done great work. He's got an amazing collection. He's grown tremendously in several species, not just ball pythons. You know, did crestedgecko.com, right? Wasn't that him? Whatever. Yeah, I think something like that. And that's where Garrick started. But now he's a superstar amongst all you ball python nerds. And these people are like, oh my God, I can't believe we're going to go see him. Oh my God. And I think it's cute. I think it's wonderful because he does deserve that. Garrick, you are an amazing fucking guy. I've done a podcast with Garrick. You can go check it out on Spotify, on the Ballshit channel. Just go on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, anything like that, and search BALLSHT. Take the, or put an exclamation point in there. It might even work. The Spotify thing actually works really well. Like the search, I even searched for like the title of a podcast that I did in 2015. It popped right up, you know. I mean, it was wonderful. So go check us out. The old episodes, the classic episodes, whatever. So I'm going to go down this list and we're going to talk a little bit more. Bullshit first. Ha! I did that today, you nerdy fucks, because I figured if might as well make my last podcast and I'll be the first one to comment. Mike Narita, second. I know if I do quit this motherfucker, you're going to be sad. Along with Rich McCall, by the way. Shout out to Rich for this badass shirt. Bro, I was in the Lego store and this cute girl commented and said, cute girl, I was over 18. Just to be very, 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 very clear. She was like an employee at Lego store wearing a smock and shit. And she was like, I love your shirt. Where did you get that? And I was like, oh, I think it's a It's a limited edition. You have to buy a $5,000 snake to get one, or have a really cool podcast that people like to pick on constantly. So I'm thinking about making a cardboard cutout of me, like these signs that you guys can throw darts and shoot at. Would you buy Sean targets if I made Sean targets? I mean, I really want to make some money on this. Like, you guys really want to fuck with me? At least help me out. Jesus Christ. Punk Rock of Balls, 3rd. Frizzy's first Australian. I'm down with that, bro. I'm down with Frizzy. I'm down with Colin Schumark. I'm super down with Luke. I'm down with the fat man, Chris Heaton. The rest of that Down Under show, the rest of it, I don't know about the rest of it. The rest of it, that jury's out on the rest of it. Oh, man, from Mother Russia, Portuguese Peter here with love. What time is it, Pete? In Mother Russia. Carl Cartwright, nice to see you. Center. Where's you should just call yourself middle. That would be cool. Center. I like center. Strange. What's up? Sponsor in the house. Reptiler. Gonna work on a sign for you because I do like that logo and I think it would be cool. I think we should do black with green acrylic letters that light up from behind. It's gonna cost you a lot of fucking money though. It'll look awesome. It'll look even cooler than his basement python guys thing. Look at the background. Look. See back there? Yeah. He's on the screen now. I'll leave you up because you got a pretty picture behind you. I'm about to have that. I'm about to do this wall next. I've been all week. I've been painting a gecko room and I've been painting the apartment upstairs. So the next thing is to paint the wall behind me black. And now that Tinley is out of the way, hopefully one of my sponsors, C-SERPENTS, will be sending a rack and an incubator for the wall. And we're going to like, there you go. Out. It's just going to be like a cool wall. So how are you tonight? You're good? I'm going to keep going.
I'm great. This was actually just done today.
What? Just done today? Dude, he got off his ass. Today. His wife was like, bro, you need to do this shit, right? Are you married? Yeah, you're married. You are married. All right. So Strange, thanks for coming and thanks for sponsoring. I know I already announced you. May Reptiles, good to have you. Hold Back Rack podcast is in the house. And these ladies interviewed one of my lovingly ex-sponsors. I don't say ex-sponsor in a negative way at all about any of my sponsors that have left me for whatever reason. They have left me. Kings Reps, good to see you. New faces. TJ Hutch, good to see you back. Andrew, a local guy, good to see you. And always giving me compliments on that stuff. And a local reminder to the local Herp Slidell shows in 2 weeks, April 1st and 2nd. 2 weeks. What calendar do you live on, bro? Next weekend, 2 weeks. Okay, I guess that's 2 weeks, maybe. 2 weeks if you count Saturdays as weeks. Then yeah, it's 2 weeks. But yeah, April Fools. I had to tell my employee this is not a joke. You have a show to work on for April Fool's Day. She was like, "Oh, it's a fucking joke." All right, I'm laughing. She hates reptile shows now. I remember before she started working for me, Jason, I would see her at reptile shows, giddy to go to reptile shows. Now, hey, we got to go to a show. Fuck. That's it. Fuck. That's it. That's all the reaction I get. Fuck. Oh, thanks a lot for the punishment. But the Herb shows really are great. And this fucking show is 20 minutes from our house, bro. How easy does it get? What's up, Jessica? Good to have you.
I've never been to a reptile show.
You've never been to a reptile show?
Never been to
know what, though? You know what would be cool? Don't ever go.
Never.
Be the tattoo artist that does not have a tattoo. Be that motherfucker. Be the guy that only does part of it, but smashes that part of it.
There you go.
Maybe. I don't really know. You've never been to a reptile show. We're going to get on that soon. You're on the space station, right? That's where you live. You're exactly. Circling the earth right now.
The middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. You ape shit nowhere. Yeah. Everybody go hit the like button because I'm taking my sweet ass time tonight. Kimberly Fortune. Good to have you here. Fortunate to have you here. Scooter Serpents. Good to have you. Ryan. Yo, what's up? Healing with Amber Nicole. Now that sounds therapeutic. What's up with this, Nicole? Amber Nicole. I would like to know. Healing with Amber Nicole. That's awesome.
She's from my Discord. She's a holistic healer.
Oh, okay. What's her name on the Discord?
That Amber Nicole.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, I saw some of her posts.
She's into puzzle also.
Well, if you're not into puzzle now, you're just a dummy that never got into clown money. So that's just lay it off. Get into puzzle. Just do it. I don't even have puzzle really. If it wasn't for my friends around the planet feeling bad for me and sending me free stuff, then I wouldn't have anything. Let's see, Marshall. He was one of my friends who's like, hey, I got a bunch of males and hets and shit. You want to raise them? You know, and I never really got that shipment, Marshall. So we need to get together on that. I'm putting some new racks in for fun shit just like that. Joel Bartley, man, so many nice new faces. Now I get, okay, it's up to 13, and I love that. You know, lucky number 13. Where's my lucky number 13? I can't even get it in the camera.
There you
it's
go.
Like the weirdest angle. People are always like, what's that 13 on your arm? It's from my son who passed away. But lucky number 13. Thank you, Nessa, for saying that. And hopefully there's more than that now. So many more of you are going to come and go throughout this podcast. I'm going to shout out to Lou Balls because I know whatever I wrote today really affected him, and even Timothy Frison may have affected him when I said, I fucking quit. But I would like to point out this guy is my last guy I shout out to. Will's hella heat. Podcast garbage. I don't know what your goal is with this movement, Will. I will never have ill feelings for you after getting my car running when no mechanic near me could figure out what part to hit with my fucking fist. You told me what part to hit. Fucking car runs great. Haven't had a problem since. So you'll never hear a bad word out of me. But I want to say something that Will said in a private conversation. Will, don't hate me for sharing something private. When Will said, you know what? I'm not going to share that. Ha! I'm not going to share that. Sorry. That would be like me doing what somebody else did to me. No. But thank you, Will, for being here. Thank you for this new goal you have to point out shitheads that are podcasting. And I would like to start off, Jason, by just saying this. It's nothing to do with Jason. This has nothing to do with my sponsors. This is a word from me directly after the way I figure it. Jason, I went to my first reptile show around this month, like March, April of 1993. So that would have been 30 years ago. I went to my first reptile show. Now I'm interviewing with you, talking with you who've never been to a reptile show. You for real, right? You're not fucking with me. Okay.
Real. Never been.
Now I'm not judging you at all. I mean, I'm judging you a little. I mean, you've already been judged by everybody else, but that's fine. You know, well, I'm with center. I'm with middle over here. I'm gonna be the right. How about that? Even though I'm on the left, I'm gonna be on the right. Jason is too cool for expos. You know, maybe so. There are some people I think that are so amazing that they're like a magnet, and you know they just can't get people to leave them alone. And I don't know if I go out in public if I was one of those people. Hey, Jason, how's it been going? Yeah, I haven't seen you around a bit. So I want to say this: 30 years. I was 13 years old, so that doesn't make me some business whiz, right? But when I first saw Justin Kabilka, he was like 16. So let's just say we all had to be a kid at some point, right? I mean, you were a kid. I was a kid.
Yep.
Elon was a fucking kid. That's it. So let's think about how many years I've done this, how many shows I've been to, how many animals I've made, how many animals I've sold. So if I've sold everything I've made that I haven't killed, and I don't have a fucking burial ground here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not ball python poltergeist over here. Like, come to the light, Caroline. You know, there's none of that shit over here with, like, I didn't bury motherfucking, I didn't bury normals. You feel me? I homed them. Okay. So if I sold everything that I produced, which is tens of thousands, and then I also resold animals that other people produced and imports for many years as a store and all this other stuff. What I'm driving at is I've never been asked or had a position where someone called me and said, Sean, could you make me a resume? All right. And I've never had that opportunity. Now, the closest conversation I've had likening to this was with one of my doctors when I asked one of my doctors if his profession was paraplegic proof. Like, if he broke his back, would he still be able to live a life and use his knowledge? Yeah, he'd have to be a teacher or some shit, right? He couldn't be a practicing surgeon. You know, I mean, I may be somewhere there's some practicing surgeon paraplegic, but I mean, come on, man. You know, I mean, there's 100 guys that are going to walk in on you and take it out of your hand. But what I'm getting at is that I've never been in a position being self-employed, Jason, for all these years in the reptile industry to where I had to make a resume. Now, the last 3 months have made me think more and more about making a resume and either tattooing it on my fucking face or making it the purple background, or maybe this background of this, It's like all the species we've had, all the people we've dealt with, all the countries we've shipped to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then at the end of that, ask me if we're talking about reptiles, reptile people, reptile events, reptile species. I could give a fuck about what color you are, what sex you are, what mental capability you have, provided you are not killing an animal. And I'm going to address this too. If you're in this for your fucking children, and it's your children's hobby and your children's passion, and you have that child on the fucking masthead, make it about the kid. Make it about the hobby. Make it about the passion and the fucking love that you have for the hobby or your kid has for the hobby. And you know who the fuck I'm talking about right now. I'm not being shady right now. I'm not trying to hide who I'm talking about right now, but I'm telling you straight out. Remind yourself why the fuck you're even in this hobby and what this hobby is all about and why in 2015 I spent $3,000 on recording equipment so that I could come out and tell you motherfuckers that you need to do this or you need to hear that. And maybe sometimes I sat on a soapbox and I made it a personal vendetta. I made it my thing. Like I made it my armor. I made it my gun, my sword, my weapon, right? And now I look at it and I'm like, you know what's cool? I can turn on this microphone. I can hit the live button. I can talk to Jason, who's never been to a fucking reptile show before, yet he's got a business name on the top of my podcast. He's got a business name behind him there. And look, I'm sorry. It is a sermon. This is a fucking sermon. And that's okay. Because you know what? 30 fucking years allotted me the ability to give this sermon. And that goes over every single one of you podcasters, except BHB, maybe, who I learned epic amounts from. Epic amounts from. You guys have all been drugged through the drama over the years that I've gone through with Brian. And you know what I'll tell you now is after everything all boils down to it, the loss that I've suffered in my life, the pain that I've suffered in my life, and to see someone who I once would put on a list of best friends, who, again, I've said on this show before, his wife and a dear friend as well at the time, Lori, knitted blankets for my children. How many breeders out there have that to say as far as closeness? This hurts me. It hurts me when I hear of this pain. It does not make me feel good. It does not make me happy. It also does not make me want to go and necessarily raise, put up cancer, raise money for cancer and things like that. But it doesn't mean that I wouldn't gladly donate my time, my effort, and any energy or any resources that I have to a friend in need, even if that friendship fell apart at some point. And so in that, reaching out and having few words, not many, few words. Yeah, we had a couple conversations back and forth. But ultimately, Jason, to decide that silence healed nothing. Silence kept the wound open. And talking is just a thing human beings can do that none of our creatures can do. Dude, they got colors and they dance and they fucking flap their wings and they chirp around and chirp and they all want to be like us, right? They all want to talk, and yet here we are, this species that just can't fucking communicate. We got all the abilities, Jason. We got a live show with buttons and fucking stupid shit, right? We got all of this shit, but we can't fucking communicate. We got microphones that bring HD sound. You can literally hear the spit on my tongue when you listen close enough with headphones on, but we can't fucking communicate amongst each other. I say something, it gets blown out of proportion. Somebody else says something, it gets blown out of proportion. Somebody takes it. And can we make it about the animals? Can we make ourselves look like at least some bit of community that's out for a goal other than to outsell each other, outmarket each other, out logo each other? Oh, bro, Canova got a simple logo. I'm going to get a simple logo now. You know, like, I mean, what are we going to do? Or are you going to stop? Because, like, have you noticed, Jason, the last 3 months has not been about the animals, bro. Like, in my life, it hasn't been about the animals at all. And I think it's really sad. It's sad that it's been about cutting breeders down, about tearing people up for being new, being novices, being beginners, being whatever. And I'm not targeting Will and his garbage podcast thing out there, but I'm targeting all of you out there that are sharing information, including Clint and Emily and Brian and all of them, you know, all of us. We have a responsibility, and our responsibility is to put forth an image of a successful group of people doing something fun that's prosperous and progressive and not animal fucking hoarding, right? And not animal abuse, and not, so like when we're sitting here and we're like the other day, I said things about Jay having a show. Now, when I had a conversation with Chris Eaton, and I think Chris was like, bro, it's going to be on Roku. Who's even going to fucking watch that? Right. Or whatever. And I'm like, you got a point, right? Like, who's even going to fucking watch that? I mean, amongst all the other, amongst Taylor Sheridan and his fucking 15 hot shot shows on TV that come on every night of the week that are awesome, between Mayor of Kingstown and all these fucking, you know, Yellowstone spinoffs and all this other shit, right? I mean, this dude owns TV. Why do we need to worry about Jay? We need to worry about Jay because Jay is still us. Jay is still out there representing you, Jason, and me in your basement, right?
Yep.
So, you know, I want to bring up your Discord group. Somebody just brought it up in the comments. No lie, Jason and I Discord group has made a permanent positive influence on my life. I've been a fly on the wall in this Discord group for the last couple of weeks, and it really is a positive community. So if anybody wants to go and Discord themselves in, I mean, I'm 43 years old. I don't really even see how I use Discord. But at this point, I thought it was like a thing for only computer geeks to use. It's very interesting. But at the same time, the Discord server for Reptile, R.E.P. You know, whatever, all that shit, right? You'll find it. It's not hard. Just put R.E.P. and it'll come right up. You know, and jump in there if you're a Discorder and check these people out and talk to them. It's a very tight community. Like, you guys, very few of you there because it's Discord, right? Nobody's fucking there. Yep. You know, that's it. So I really think that, you know, I want to get off my soapbox of what I was on a minute ago, but I really want to just end that in my scatterbrain bullshit that somebody comments on all the time. And I wanted to say that if you think that there's a reptile podcast out there that is amazing, that is hosted by someone who has knowledge and has the wisdom of being around people and being in the industry for a long time. Yeah, what are we laughing at?
I'm sorry, the comment from Andrew.
Yeah, what biosecurity measures do we need to enter the Discord? I agree with you, Andrew, on that. It is Discord.
It gets rough at times. It gets rough at times.
But at the same time, you're there, you know. And to have him come in, Limey, good evening, sir. It's good to have you here. But I got to tell you, man, 30 years of being at shows. And Jason, the very first show I went to, I'm going to brag on this, even though I was a little asshole. I was just a little version of what I am now. I mean, and I would literally go to the tables at the show. There was 4 tables at this reptile show, 4 8-foot tables, each with a breeder from our area. Okay. And this was, there you go. They fucking typed it out, reptile, all with the dots in it. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. It's like a, so, anyway, after being in it this long, Jason, I want to say that I wish I had a resume that I could post at the front of this podcast, just like that fucking warning page that tells people basically, get off your fucking wave for a minute and realize this thing was a thing before you came. This thing's going to be a thing after you leave. And you're not a huge part of it, but you are a part of it. So please do your best. I didn't always do my best.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, I did a fuck of a lot more good than I ever did bad. And there's no end to that. I promise you that. And anybody that says otherwise, holy shit, are they fucking lying to you? You know, or they just don't know because they haven't been around, right? Like, how do you judge? But you've never been to a reptile show, bro. What am I going to do? Ask you how to run a show? I'm going to ask you what you think of it. Bro, what do you think of that show? You know, Jason's going to be like, I don't know. It's my first one. What the fuck? I got no comparison.
Yep. I sit there and watch from Instagram for everyone else going live.
Yeah, versus me, bro. I was on the phone live with somebody at Tinley, and they were like, dude, can you believe this? And it was their first time at Tinley. And I was like, I remember my first time at Tinley, and they were like, when is that? And I said, the first Tinley. October 2001, the first Tinley. You know, and they're like, whoa, man, that's crazy. Right. And ultimately, that's it. Like, at the end of the day, if you're podcasting, if you're broadcasting, we'll just call it broadcasting. If you're broadcasting about this hobby, about people in this hobby, it better be proactive and productive to this hobby. And I'm sick and tired of all of these podcasts that are simply based. This might be directed at you, Will, just a little bit, only because I don't know what you're going to do with that podcast, but I don't think you know what you're going to do with that podcast either. So, you know, directing that at Will's hella heat at this moment in time, absolutely please understand that we got to try to get these dudes off this fucking wave. Like, they got to get off. They got to stop this personal fight shit. They got to stop this, you know, like I'm not changing my logo to purple on Instagram, not because I don't like have compassion, right? For the cause and stuff like that. Not because I want to be different by not doing it, just because I just didn't do it, you know? But I'm certainly not going to publicly accost anyone for what they choose to support like that either. So, like, I don't know if you did you do the purple logo thing? I don't know if you did the purple logo thing.
I did.
It's fine, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not scolding it.
I don't know Brian personally like you do. But it's more of rallying around the cause. I would do it for anyone the same way that I would do any for you, for, you know, anyone you could name out there that I didn't meet, no matter what they've gone through, as long, you know, they've been positive portion of in this community. For some stuff, you know, we all do good and bad in our lives. We're the only ones who know what we do.
At some point, we do have to weigh that, right? Like, when you do like, let's take my 30 years that I've been harping on for 20 something minutes, for almost 30 minutes. That 30-year time frame, dude, there is some blood in there.
Yep.
There's some scraps in there. Like, there's breeders that it's like, tell Sean we're cool. I just don't want to talk to him.
Yep. And that's fine. You can have that opinion for yourself and do that.
Yeah.
You know,
not fine with me. I'm always trying to correct it. But at the same time, I have to accept it.
It's about growing and just rallying around this point. Someone in our community has been affected drastically and their life is going to be gone potentially. So show support while you can. Who wants to make their last year and a half bad? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, absolutely not. And you know, and certainly not someone where it's just like, look, you know, a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of shows, a lot of dinners. Fuck, a lot of food fights, bro. Talk about the good shit. Lori Barchak started food fights for like 3 years straight. Every restaurant we go to, Lori Barchak would start a fucking food fight. A real food fight, bro. I'm talking like 40 reptile people at a Mexican place. It's a fucking disaster. Like, we were embarrassing. But we always tipped like a motherfucker, right? Like you know, the staff was like, oh, they might have a food fight. Put them outside, you know. And then we get the bill, and the girl's like, "You seriously giving me a $300 tip?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you should fucking mess with me, you know." Like, Jesus Christ, of course we give you a $300 tip. But the things that we enjoyed together, right? I'm gonna bring up something, you know. But and by the way, this is Jason from Basement Pythons. Like, thank you for coming on this show and just being kind of like,
thank you for having me.
Like a fucking, like, let's just after dark just spill the beans and shit all over my situation here, because I'm really tired of seeing this hobby go to the dramatic side when it really doesn't need to at all. Like, there's enough shit to keep us busy here.
100%. You want to be dramatic? Show off the triples and quads and stuff like that. That's dramatic.
Sure. Or introduce someone to a completely new species that they had
100%.
no idea about, right? And then that's ultimately going to be the thing. So you're a ball python guy, ultimately. So what's the collection size we're working with over there while I'm pulling?
I mean, obviously it varies with stuff coming in and out. We're around probably between 80 to 110 with what we have going on here. I also do keep more
adults or all together completely. That's total.
That's all together. That's total. Probably have around 20 hatchlings, a couple stuff that's growing up. I do have a boa constrictor. That was my second snake. How I got started in this whole hobby was about 5 years ago in 2018. My wife went grocery shopping and comes back about an hour and a half later with my first ball python, and she's like, "I wanted a snake."
Mm-hmm.
So she bought this little baby from Petco, and came in, and I had no idea. She was afraid of pulling it out of the box. So I pulled it out. I wasn't afraid of snakes. And then come to find out, it had a respiratory infection and mouth rot. Took it to the vet, did as much research as I could on it. And, you type in ball python on Google, and, all this huge world opens up to you. You learn, BHB, Sean Bradley, all of these, Canova. No, it does. All of these names come up, and you see all of this stuff.
Don't buy from Sean Bradley.
That's what it says. Don't buy from Sean Bradley.
Well, you start looking at all this cool stuff, it brings up all these recesses, and you look like, how is this found? When you start, and that's what a lot of people just start buying stuff, but when you look into this stuff, like who made it, how was it found? The backstory is what's very interesting about all of this stuff. So she brought home this snake, and I started researching it and seeing all of this different color. It's just a normal. I still have her.
I couldn't imagine that just dropping in my lap.
It was just, so,
I couldn't imagine that. Like, I envy you. I envy your recent experience with that.
Yeah.
Remember, I got them as they came, bro. I got them as they came out. As they came in, I got them. I never came to the field and saw all the fucking players and be like, God damn, look at how.
Yeah, it was insane.
Like, I'm so excited for you guys. It's fun.
It was insane, the stuff that I saw back 5 years ago compared to what now, and how everything has turned from what I first bought. I was watching MorphMarket. I've discovered that, found all this stuff, and then I was talking to my wife. I was like, I really would like to do this, do the genetics and everything like that. Researched all this, and my wife was like, "Try hype." Oh
Try hype. Try hype, bro. I've been in this project since it fucking came out. And I never made $1 on it. And now it blows up when I don't have none of it. No, I've got a male tri-stripe and a bunch of het females next door that are breeding right now. I got like fucking 7 or 8 hets. So I might have regular old tri-stripes. Like, I might be a tri-stripe farm over here. And I hope it blows up. I hope somebody does something insane with tri-stripe, because if I get back into ball pythons, that's where I'm going with it. But I don't know. I'm kind of
being, you should try Ultramel. Ultramel's pretty good.
That's what I heard. I heard that. I heard there's a drinking game involved with that, right?
There is a drinking
somebody
game.
Said there was a drinking game. Every time you mention Ultramel, Jessica says, fun drinking game. Drink anytime Jason talks about Ultramel. I'm actually with you, Jessica. And Jessica's also another R.E.P.T. blah, blah, blah.
She is.
Yes. I'm
Midwest Mutations.
Yeah. And look, you got your logo. Is that your logo that's going to stick? Yeah. I thought you said you didn't have a logo. How about you come up and do a podcast with me sometime here, Jessica? Because I've been told that I need more women on my show. And it doesn't include Jessica and Jana, because Jessica and Jana don't count, I guess.
She's super funny. She thinks she's funny, at least.
She thinks she's funny, and that's all that matters. If she thinks she's funny and she's not a dummy that knows stuff about snakes and knows stuff about reptiles, that's fine. How many of my, I've got friends that are very attractive, that are in like animal related businesses, and I say that by like wrangling animals for movie sets and things like that. But they're fucking idiots. They don't know anything about anything. Like, they know how to feed the snake to keep the snake alive to get it to the next movie. They really suck. And they're like, one of them's like, I want to do your podcast, and I'm like, there's no fucking way in the world you're doing my podcast. I wouldn't let her do my podcast if this was a porno podcast, and she's like a 9.5. Okay. So like, there's just no fucking way in the world this girl. And that's my point. How can you go out there and wrangle alligators and snakes and animals and not know what a fucking water snake looks like? Or you know what I mean? It just aggravates me. So I just kind of F-bombed her out of my life. I burn that bridge, right? That's what I do, Jason. I burn the bridge. I blow up the land on both sides of the bank where it's not buildable. There's nothing, no reparation. It's terrible. Do not learn from me. Do not learn from me. Learn from Rich McCall and his badass shirt. Learn from some of these cool people down below that are my Patreon members. Yeah, I love this shirt. It's really cool. So yeah, man, like 80-ish ball python. You have a basement. How big's your basement? Barshak started in a basement.
My room is 12 by 24.
Oh,
And
fuck yeah, dude. That's 3 times the size of half the people's reptile collections now.
Yeah, who
Not
was
bad.
last week's shed, his barn, the shed, Jody's barn.
Oh yeah, Jody's barn. Jody's. I'm like, I picture a toilet with a TV across from it.
Right.
Right. I picture that.
The computer
I picture
on his
that.
lap.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so, look, I hope that you are taken very well. I hope that this does not bring up any horrible demons from your past. I hope that no one makes a clickbait title out of your show. But I will say, in slight defense of my friend Jody, there was never a racist thing ever involved in any of that, which I thought was really funny. But it is what it is. But yeah, man, like let's get on to the reptile people. So is reptiles R.E.P.T. Is that group of reptile Discord, is that predominantly ball python cozy people, or are you like multi-species?
We are multi-species. I mean, is
there somebody in there like, you ain't fucking ball python people suck ass? Because if you don't have that, you're not a real community. Right?
There's not really. There's a lot of us who keep multiple stuff in there. You know, I have geckos too. I do gargoyle geckos too. I got into that.
Very cool.
And then we have
that's what I'm building now. I've just been building a gecko room. I've been building racks and painting walls and setting up.
We have a zookeeper,
75-degree room.
We got a zookeeper from Omaha. I want to say Jess, one of Jess's friends. She's got sailfin dragons. She's big on TikTok also.
Oh, okay.
She's got, experience with tons of stuff. We're everywhere, all from breeders to keepers to,
That's good. How many people would you say Strong is posting regularly in the reptiles Discord group?
There's probably around 15 to 20 of us. We're only like 75 deep right now with people.
Okay, well, so guys, go over there and join up on a Discord group with these people and just have some good, fun conversations on everything. And from what I've seen, it's a really great group. Everybody's pretty polite and nice when they need to be. They've got a good sense of humor, and it's like all reptile things, not for children, So it's not for kids. Sorry, buddy, not for kids. So on to the not for kids. I did find the picture I was looking for. This photo right here, from what we can gather, is Daytona of 2009. The best we can do. And of course, that's Brian in the blue shirt. Looking young as fuck. Oh, you don't see the photo? What?
I don't see a photo. Anyone else see the photo?
It should be up on the screen.
Maybe it's just me?
It split the screen. Hey, guys, photo up on the screen. Help me out. You know what I'll do? I'll reshare it. Hold on. How about now? No?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Yeah, the other one's saying no photo, no photo.
No photo, no photo. Nope. Okay. Maybe now?
There you go.
Daytona 2009. My boy Steve Kelly shared this photo. It's a great photo. Brian's fucking having a moment out there after the show. And I got to tell you guys, man, this is a Saturday. You know what this is? All of us gathering in the lobby to go out to dinner. This fucking process with this man is a fucking nightmare. All right. And that was before he was the man he is now. And that we would wait just for our party to get together in the lobby. Do you realize how many people, Jason, would stop by and be like, are y'all going to dinner? Can I come?
Oh.
And Brian's like, sure, come on. Yeah, sure, come on. And Celia, who's the girl in the very center, that's my fiance from back then, the Asian girl in the middle with the wicked tan. She was playing tennis every day in the freaking blistering Louisiana sun with that tan. Jesus Christ, she's dark as hell on that tan. It's she's sitting, she's talking to a guy named Jared Carr. Now, Jared Carr, the guy whose face you can't see behind Brian's head, Jared Carr is the person who had the female blade het clown that Brian used as a breeder loan to make the very first of our blade and super blade clowns that me and Mark Mandic started off with. So ironically, that's who owned the female het, and it was a breeder loan with Brian. Tom Stokes is off on the right there with his white shirt with his stripes. And Tom pretty much looks still like Tom. I don't think Tom probably looks a whole lot different. Tom was always going to look like a giant baby. I mean, he just looks like a giant fucking baby. He's just like a big grown baby. And when he gets drunk, he's even more like a giant baby because he just grins. He's just got a big, happy grin. And I love that man, Tom Stokes. All right. And then there's me behind Celia. My face, because you can tell my weird, long ass nose. Like, I got a fucking nose. I don't see myself from the side very often. My fucking nose aggravates me. And then Lori Barchak's back there over Tom's shoulder. And whoever this girl is in the front right corner, I have no fucking idea who she is. So she's long gone by now. But I mean, the thing is, you know who that was behind Tom? I can see that black ass hair that looks like a helmet. That was Rick Cunningham from Rusty's Balls. That's who that was. Because that was Tom's partner back then. And, we'd get together, and this is when Celia and I were running dinner, too. Because, dude, it was particularly aggravating when Brian would do that shit. Because we were running dinner, so we would have it set, right, Jason? Like, my fiance would have it set, bro. There's a place called Aunt Catfish's on the river in Daytona. It's really good. It's a good little place. Getting in that motherfucker, to sit with 5 people, you're going to wait like 2 hours. But my ex and Rick Cunningham, the guy behind Tom there, my ex would just literally go over there with her Asianness and her fucking Ninja Turtle tattoos and shit with $100 bill and give it to the concierge at the Hilton and say, I need 25 people to eat at Aunt Catfish's in the next 2 hours. And the guy would look at this cute Asian with these tattoos and this $100 bill and be like, yes, ma'am. And in an hour and a half, we were at Aunt Catfish's sitting down with 20 fucking people. Unbelievable. The shit we used to pull just by saying, we got 30 people. Here's $100. Get us in. Like, that's what a concierge is actually there for. I never even knew that. Like, I never even knew that he was there just to make your shit work for you like that. And I'm like, what? In real hotels where they really have a real concierge, I can really do this? Like, what else can he get me? Right? Like, you want to know what else he could get you? He could Daytona Beach, Jason.
Everything.
Anything and everything that's available in Thailand, probably. This motherfucker.
Oh my God.
It's Daytona. It's horrible. But a great show to go to. So what show are you about to go to?
I mean, I would like to go to Tinley.
I know, but what are you going to go to a show soon? Somebody posted that you were going to go to a show soon. No, is that just bullshit?
No, I don't have anything.
He was just jabbing you. Where the fuck do you live?
I live in North Dakota.
Oh, no wonder. No wonder you've never been to a show. You live in the fucking Black Hills. You live
way up there north. I'm like 70 miles from Canada.
Wow, that's great, man. You should be shipping stuff overseas. Hey, you know what you should get into? Australian reptiles. Just don't get caught smuggling too many minutes.
Right.
Just get caught in Canada. Don't get caught here.
There you go. That's what we got Prize D for.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it makes a shitload of sense now. Hold Back Rack Podcast says the light bulb just went boom. North Dakota. Bro, I even forgot about that state, right? Like, that's how I am. When you say North Dakota, I'm like, they got the faces there, or maybe they don't, and I can see them from there, right? Like, that's it. Like, we don't have the faces on the side of the hill, but we can see them from here. What is that, South Dakota?
Right, yeah, South Dakota.
That's South Dakota's state
flat
motto.
Yeah, you can see it. You just put a telescope straight across because there's nothing, no trees, no nothing. You can just see it.
Right, yeah. It's just, son of a bitch. I mean, yeah. So one of my very best friends was from the Black Hills area. And he and I spent years in reptiles together. He's an FBI employee. He's actually a techie. He's not an agent. His name's Joe Searles. He lives in San Antonio, Texas now, but he was from North Dakota, South Dakota, I think. And God, the stories he would tell about the nothingness there, unbelievable. But I don't know. You could go to the Idaho show. Right.
Yeah. That's everything like 16 hours away this way, 18 hours away that way. I've got 4 kids, the snakes, the rats, the dogs. I work full time, I've been in the military for 18 years. So it takes a lot to get away. I'm in the Air Force.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to make any jokes. I'm a civvy, so I'm not going to make any jokes. I'm not going to make like written test jokes or
right. I do have
waiting
a nice
pool jokes or anything like that.
Nice comfy chair.
Right. A nice comfy chair.
Yeah. Comfy chair. Yeah. Used to it.
That's funny. Like I said, I'm a civvy, so I have no business making fun, but it's always fun.
Just
always
fun.
fun.
Everyone does.
A little bit. Yeah, I go, especially military guys, I'm sure. We all get a ribbing of each other. But yeah, man, it's like get to those shows, get to something and start building some memories.
I want to
with the community more. Because you are very involved in your Discord group. So a Discord meetup at Tinley, a Discord meetup at Daytona. Daytona's pretty far.
Could be great.
But you know, not gonna lie, man.
I just want to experience it.
You gotta go. You gotta go
and put the name to the faces. You know what I mean? Get to shake people's hands and look. You know, see a DG clown in person.
So tell me this: do we have and this is fine. You can totally fanboy, and I will not make fun of you. I promise. Because I've done it. Do we have a person that's like, oh my god, I would love to meet you? You know, I mean, like for you to be in the basement of North Dakota with your ball pythons, you're kind of isolated. You're reaching out to these Discord weirdos for some contact.
You know, there is a couple of people. So they're not all big, right? Like
doesn't need to be huge.
Like Mark Cole from Cold Blooded Morphs.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who that is. I got my.
Is this Mark Cole that has hearing problems? There's a Mark Cole that's deaf. That was. I don't think he's deaf. No. There was one Cole that was
from Cold Blooded Morphs. That's who I got my clown pied from and my cryptic stuff or my krypton stuff from. Great guy. He's got a whole bunch of stuff. He's doing a lot of Ultramel stuff. I'd love to meet him, just talk to him about what he's doing. Billy from Mutation Creation. I talked to him.
They said yes, it is. That is Mark Cole. You know, I've really Mark Cole and I communicated a really good bit, and you know what's sad is shouting out to Mark if you're reading this now, because YouTube does closed captioning. We had the problem with him desperately wanting to listen to the content on the Ballsh audio files, and there was really no way for me to like put that into a captioning system, right? But now with YouTube, that was another reason why I wanted to go live YouTube, Jason. No lie, was for that alone, just for the closed captioning of YouTube alone. It does fuck up some words that I say when I say them real fast, but nothing that anyone couldn't put together logically, right? Because here we are with someone that, you know, has been in the hobby, who's dedicated a lot of time and carried himself very cleanly, right? Clean logo.
Very well. Very well.
Good photography, good posting, great, you know, like all that. Limey's giving him props. So nice dude. He got yellow belly paint from me.
I saw that he posted that. You know what's the best about Mark, right? So I've reached out to a couple of people. Like I produced a Yellow Belly Orange Dream Ultramel that's 50% Heck Clown, and I messaged a couple of people. I'm not going to name big people. Like, hey, I'm just curious, you know, because Ultramel can hide a lot of stuff, right? What do you think of this? You know, no response at all. Mark, as soon as you message Mark, he will message you back, no matter who you are, and he'll have a conversation about life. Just talk to you. You know, that's the people that I really respect, the ones who will take the time out of their day to talk to you, no matter who you are. You know.
Oh, this fucking guy. Why, Andrew? Why do I have to say Chapatulas? Because somebody can't say Chapatulas on here. It's just the name of a street. It's the name of a street in New Orleans. Yeah, it says, I don't know why a Chapatulas. Why I got to say that, but you know, locals here have funny things with words, especially to people from North Dakota. You fucking grass-fed beef grown fuckers.
I've been to Louisiana one time.
Oh, where'd you come? For military reasons? To Louisiana? You fucking moron.
I went to Barksdale. They made me.
Jesus. The worst part of the South.
Barksdale,
Louisiana. Oh, God.
And it was hot.
Yep.
Sweaty.
Miserable.
The bugs were so loud. Yeah, it was, you know, yeah. One of my friends was stationed down there. He's like, hey, let's go fishing after work. We went out there. We're launching the boat, and there's alligators all around. I'm like,
isn't that cool though? Like,
I don't want to go. Ugh.
That's got to be neat now to think about that. Because like that's how close I am to nature, bro.
Yeah,
and, like I can dispose of body parts and stuff.
And at
like
the same
Dexter
time,
this shit. That can
they
like
could
Dexter
take my body parts.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true. So, I mean, you know, and I stay in the boat.
Yeah, well, they're fast.
And if you fall off the boat, just get back in the boat very rapidly.
Yeah,
Rapido.
You know, we're putting the boat in to the lake, and they're just, you know, scared, like moving, fast, moving away, throwing the water. And I'm just like, I don't know how many are in here. Like, what is going on? Like, we don't have those in North Dakota.
Jessica said I would have died trying to pet one, whatever. Yeah, that was it. I died trying to pet one. Jessica, if you ever come out here by me, I'll bring you to a place where we can stop at McDonald's on the way and you get fries because they float and you can feed the gators fries off the side of the bridge. I mean, you can get like 20 of them fuckers swimming up, eating the fries off the surface.
No.
I eat them too.
I don't want to get like the big stuff, oof.
The Dirty Dell, that's a local guy. Talking about Slidell, where the reptile show is, the Dirty Dell. That's what we call it here. That's the bigger city to my east. That's pretty fucking shitty. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Jessica, definitely come down. I'll feed you good food. We'll go feed the gators and all that stuff. Let me get this cough under control.
You still sick?
I'm barely sick, but this cough is staying. Hold on a second.
Oof.
Oh yeah, I just try not to bark in your ear. Hit the mute button. So tell me, do you like about other species? You said geckos, ball pythons,
yep. So
and
I've
geckos.
got
That's it. Just gargs.
Gargoyle geckos. I have a boa constrictor. I don't breed her. She's like my rat disposal.
Yeah, everybody in the ball python game seems to have one of those.
Yeah, the big jumbo rats that time for them to go. She gets them, and then I have 2 samboas. Not planning on breeding them. But yeah, I really do. Like, I know, people are like, oh, ball pythons, pet rocks. I think they're cool. And the best part is my children range from the age of 13 to 5 years old. All 4.
Yeah, it's a good species for that.
They can come down. Oh yeah, my daughter loves them. She's got 2 of them. I let them name all of them. They come and have a blast. I think one's like named Band-Aid, Ouchie, Ambulance, Fire Truck, whatever.
Hey man, let them do it, because you coming up with all them names is gonna either get obscene or really, really hard to do, and it's fucking aggravating.
Exactly.
That's why what name we give them is whatever year they are, dash whatever number they hatch. That's their fucking name, and that's it. That's how 100%. It goes. But I mean, Tim Bailey, that name, Bailey and Bailey Reptiles. You used to go to Tim's house and every one of the snakes was named after like an X-Man or a Marvel character. And then he would come to my place and be like, bro, Psylocke bred, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about what you call them. What are they, dude? I was like, again, like, cause now Tim's grown into quite the professional. But in his early days, he was just beginning with me right down the street. He lives like a fucking mile away from me. So it's just kind of funny to see the progression now, where it's just like, oh, calm down, huh, motherfucker? 20 years later, you're like, I've been there, I've done that, and got a t-shirt already. Fuck you. That kind of thing. But I'm sure that there are, when you do get to a show, you'll be torn, bro, between the people you want to meet and talk to and the shit you want to see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I thought about, like, what is the experience going to be like, because there's definitely stuff that I want to see. Like I said, DG clowns, Xanthic clowns,
yeah,
just to take all of that and see it in person instead of on Instagram. I mean, we're parents for some of that stuff here soon.
There you go. Albinos were $3,000 and hypos were $1,500, and I was 21 years old, and that was at a reptile show and a fireworks stand in Slidell. So this was the Slidell show before it grew into the convention center herp show that it is now. And I had these acrylic tanks to my right here on the screen. I had these acrylic tanks that we had in the store. We would literally take the store display out of the retail store and bring it to the reptile show because we had no cases, bro. There were no displays. No, this was the year before this is when the 3-tiered display was invented by Doug Barr and marketed in the reptile community. And I had them on this table. I had one of them, the very first 3-tiered reptile displays on that table at that show, but like, I want you to know that, like, when you go to a show, bro, you're going to see some stuff and you don't even know what's going to happen. Like, you don't even know. It could be like a tortoise, like a pattern on the back of a tortoise, like like fucking psychedelic hypnotizes Jason, and he's like, what the fuck? I'm getting rid of everything in my life until I get every one of these fucking turtles. And like, dude, like I've seen it. It's fucking awesome. So when you go to a show and you're a vendor, bro, do me a favor, sit back and remember this moment and watch the bewilderment. Watch this hashtag impulse buy motherfucker right here. TJ Hutch Exotics. You are absolutely right. Hashtag impulse buy. I went all the way to Tinley Park in 2018 with no good ball python projects other than my puzzle on the horizon. Not much money in the bank, not much room left on the credit cards. I went and I bought a pair of aquatic lizards that have one baby every year underwater, and maybe I might get them to breed once. And you know what? I bought them with every dollar I had. I had $2,000. I was like, I'm gonna buy a cool male ball python with this $2,000. And you know what? I bought a pair of aquatic lizards that would take forever to get big, forever to breed, and then not have shit for production. All because and you know what? In that moment, I felt like a bad businessman, but an absolute fascinated reptile hobbyist.
Yeah.
I watched those lizards every day that they sat in my office. I loved those lizards for every minute that I had them. And when somebody offered me what I paid for them, I sold those motherfuckers like it was no problem at all. And you know what?
You came to the realization that
I own them.
Going to work out the best.
No, I own them. I owned Shinosaurus crocodiliurus. I grew it to an adult size. I watched it. It watched me, Jason. We sat and we stared each other down. And it meant something. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Rayana's reptiles. He remembers. He was there. He's like, what'd you buy? And I was like, these. And he's like, what the fuck are those?
Not even knowing what they are.
He's like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, dude, it's like somebody took one lizard and glued another lizard's head on it and then shoved an alligator tail up its ass. It's fucking amazing. You know, and it was like, oh, dude, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. You know, and that's like the shit that you get. That's fascinating. I don't give a fuck what color you are. I don't give a fuck what sex you are. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I don't care how much money you make a living. I don't care what country you're from. I don't care if you're Russian and you support the Ukrainian fucking infiltration. If you love reptiles and you're here to talk about reptiles and to get into weird shit or get into deep shit like ball pythons, then we want you. We want you. We want you to come. We want you to come to Discord and try to make a community. We want you to come to shows for your first time and pop your show cherry. You know,
right? Maybe
do that because I'm telling you,
for 4 years.
You know, yeah. Andrew Heckler, Sean, get into the geckos big time. What kind of geckos you want me to get into, bro? There's more geckos than there's any other reptile species. So you figured that out. So Jason, ball python wise. Mark Cole was one. We got off on my Sean tangent. Let's go back to that. Tell me your next like dream hitter while we're sitting here and I'm confined to this wheelchair.
You know,
okay? I sit in this wheelchair all day. You've already established you have a comfortable chair.
I do have a comfortable chair.
So just lean back and spill the beans. Spill the beans. It's okay. Honestly, you can drool over whoever you want. What, do I need to kick out all the reptile people for the R.E.P?
Yeah.
I'll kick all them out first, and then you can tell me.
I'll hear about this afterwards, so it's okay.
It's okay.
Mark,
oh my God, you're my hero.
Billy is definitely
Billy's got a voice. I'll give Billy a voice. I was thinking about that because, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I know this is an interruption. People are like, shut the fuck up, Sean. Billy, tell me about Billy. Tell me what you like about Billy. I want to know.
The same thing that I like about you, unfiltered, uncensored, just it's Billy. And Billy goes the same way with on the tail. Like there's people who play around like, I like this. I like this. I like that. They support everyone. There is such a thing, in my opinion, as toxic positivity. Like we can all have opinions.
Fucking toxic positivity. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Like,
you know what you do with that person, though, Jason? I'm gonna tell you what you do with that person. You sit there with a bar clicker, like one of those county clicker things, and you click every single time they say a word with negative connotation, and you bust them on it. You'd be like, you know how positive you are? You just said the word can't, don't, won't, or shouldn't like 15,000 times in the last conversation. How's that positive?
Exactly.
How could you possibly be positive? You're telling me I can't, shouldn't, wouldn't. That's fucking negative as shit. The best thing in the world about toxic positivity is finding the negativity and showing it to them. And they're like, oh.
100%.
Oh. So Billy and I don't really know each other all that well. So that's why I asked you your opinion, because I actually have good respect for the guy. I really do. I have pretty high respect for the guy.
You know, and how he can, and it's awesome how he openly admits, you know, he has a very high level of ADHD, you know, call it mental problems, right? And still not, I wouldn't say mental problems, but I don't know a better word for it.
Dude, who invents a stack of plastic or wood that you take the covers off of Rubbermaid boxes and slide it in that has heat built in the back? Yeah, weird motherfuckers. Weird, different motherfuckers,
right.
By the way. You know, us.
Right.
Us strange group of fucking people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and really that is it. That is all it is. It's a fascination. And Billy does a good job of showing a large operation that runs very tight.
Exactly. And with and he shows all the challenges, he shows, you know, everything. That's the best part.
The trials and tribulations of it all is wonderful.
100%. And then one big mentor, the third person that I want to meet, and I know he's not huge in America, but in Australia he is, and he's actually one of the big supporters in here. Frizzy's Reptiles, Ryan.
Oh, okay.
So
I say Frizzy, you say Frizy. It's all good. Sorry, Frizzies, but yeah, whatever.
I talked to him. He's one of my, I would call him, you know, one of my best friends. I talk to him all the time. He's taught me all the Australian lingo. But he's bred and breeding reptiles for.
He sent you any chocolate?
He sent me chocolate. Oh yeah, I've got. This is this picture. The picture that's back here. This is from him. He sent me a care box from Australia.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Koala,
that's what I was gonna say. He probably sent you chocolate because those motherfuckers are prouder of chocolate. They hate American chocolate.
Oh, and it was delicious. And he also sent me a bottle. Let's not forget. Don't forget a bottle of Vegemite.
Oh, look at that. Hell yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. The worst thing I've ever had in my mouth. Worst thing I've ever had in my mouth.
All right. Tell me a little bit more about Frizzies. I'm going to go over here and grab some real quick.
So, Ryan, huge breeder, Kimberly rock monitors, a whole bunch of different monitors, geckos, carpet pythons, children's python. He breeds it all. And just the source of knowledge from him when I started out and he first found me on TikTok, he was just unrelenting with helping the entire time. You know what I mean? No matter what, if I had questions, because there's a lot of people who, in what's this new term, gatekeep, right? They like to keep all this information to themselves about things that they've learned and not really help the community out. Like if I have a problem,
that all this is so free and so easy. No, I could understand it in the 90s when you had to actually send a self-addressed stamped envelope for a manual on how to do this. But like now it's like, what the fuck do you mean? I mean, like, okay, this is crazy. And I'm not going to do this, even though I think I could. Has anyone done a masterclass for this? Like a literal masterclass.com for snake breeding and things like that. Anybody on there doing like anybody huge and pop? Like I personally think Bob Vu or Billy D. Rose would be a candidate, right? Billy D. Rose, Bob Vu, one of these guys would be a prime candidate for something like that, right?
Yeah, Bob's another one I forgot about.
Yeah, Bob's a good guy. Bob's just a happy-go-lucky guy that's just having a great time doing what he's doing. And I love that.
Someone posted a video of Bob in his underwear pulling eggs the other day.
There is no doubt in my mind that man will wear tighter clothes than anybody on. I mean, really, like Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues. Like we can't use those pants; they're too tight.
You can see too
like
much.
There's just too much revealing there, right? There's just too much going on. And I'm with Limey, dude. Info is too easy to find these days. Like when you literally go, but there's still stupid people, Limey. I mean, my
And
cousin's
it's not
13 years older than me, and he's struggling trying to fix his fucking washing machine. 5 hours. He's got the
fair.
whole washing machine taken apart. And I'm like, bro, did you go to YouTube and look? And he's like,
Yeah.
no. So wait, he
So,
goes to YouTube and look, and he can just take the front off, and it's one thing to do the thing. And he's like, motherfucker, I should have done this. But he's 50-something years old.
fair.
You know, think about it.
There's,
Or at least he did.
Like, and there's one thing. There's one thing about knowledge, right? You can have all the knowledge in the world, but the thing that really settles you down is the experience, right? Like the first time that you pull eggs, and let's say you pull the eggs, you got them too late, and they're stuck together, but you want to pull them apart because that's what you see, and you tear one a little bit, and like, oh, it's fine, put a Band-Aid on it. Like, are you sure? You know what I mean? That back.
Me, I'm like, why did you separate your fucking eggs?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still that guy. I'm not the separator. I separate them, and that's how I know when to cut them when they fall apart. I use that as my pop-up timer because that's the perfect time.
That's the knowledge. That's the behind it. Like, hey, no, leave it alone. They'll be okay. You know, there's so many ways in the knowledge that's out there. There's so many ways that people do it, but to have someone who's got personal experience to help you out, like you got this, you're good. You know, that's the part. Like his support and all the other people, and like in Reptile, everyone's got so many different experiences and situations that they've dealt with.
SERPWorks says Mark Mandic's the only one that should have a master class. Then he followed up with Kevin or Ralph fit the criteria too. SERPWorks, you better keep fucking going because I know a lot of people that would fit this criteria. Fucking Anthony Caponetto, Garrick DeMeyer. I could go on and on and on.
Oh yeah.
But everybody's got their little strength, right? Like Bob Vu's strength was being able to buy and resell with success. Clean. Now, there's not many people that are capable of doing that. Okay. And that's what I'm saying. Serp, I absolutely give you credit for that. I give Kevin credit. I give Ralph credit. I don't give Voldemort credit now. I don't give PK credit now at this point. But I mean, I would have never gave him credit anyway at any point at all. I wouldn't give Tom Crutchfield a masterclass credit. I would not. But there are some reasons why. But I think Mark Mandic, Ozzy Boyd's, Ozzy could do it. Bob Vu could definitely do it. Billy D. Rose could definitely do it. I think that I could do it from a do as I say, not as I do perspective, right? And I know that hindsight's always that perfect, right? But at the same time, I've lived that. Had a retail. Most of these guys haven't had a retail store. I've had two. I've had a fish store and a reptile store. The reptile store was 10 years. The fish store was 3.5.
Which were both successful.
Yeah, they're both successful. I mean, the reptile store I closed just because it was easier just to do this, and make money. Like, honestly, bro, no kidding, Jason. Like, there was a point in 2009 when my accountant was like, you do realize your internet business is paying for your store, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what should I do? Well, and they said, well, you should look for property and try to do this on the private sector. And immediately that's what we did in 2007. And then 2008, we bought this place. It's 5-acre property with this building. And since, I mean, it was a 2,000 square foot building when I bought this place. And now I've got this building's like 3,500 and I've got like another 1,500 exterior buildings and stuff probably add up because I had my iguana facility and all that. So like it develops over time. You know what I mean? So like I could totally do it. Now I think someone should do it, but I think the first person to do it is just going to get roasted by all the fucking podcasters that want to throw stones. You know, they're going to be like, oh, here's my Australian thing I found. It's a kangaroo scrotum.
Oh,
it's a change pouch. It's a change pouch, leather made, supposedly real deal kangaroo pouch from Australia. It says Aussie kangaroo pouch, and I've got a bunch of quarters in it. But it's an actual kangaroo scrotum.
Now I'm disappointed. Where's mine, Frizy?
No, he didn't send me this. He didn't send me this. A cute girl in Australia sent me this like 20 years ago. But it's really cool. But she also sent me chocolate. That's why I asked you. Like, isn't that weird? Like, I could go right to the chocolate question.
Box. Yeah, a huge box, and it was all candy. Some
fucking
of their
Australians,
chips.
Bro.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah, crazy. Is that a bucket list place to go? Then I imagine.
Oh yeah. I'd love to go there.
So, and so I think it's ironic that Frizy can only keep Aussie shit and you don't keep any Aussie shit.
Nope, not one thing.
And he's one of your top guys.
He is. He is.
Frizy, we got some work to do, bro.
Right?
We got some work to do. We got some work to
he
do.
was talking about children's pythons and everything like that. He's got some sick children's pythons, the stuff that he produces. That
Anybody got money burning a hole in your pocket? Because I just put up a trio of 2020 anthill pythons that will lay eggs next year for a lot of fucking money. So I mean, you might have a lot of money, but I mean, it easily double the price of babies. But when your baby is this long,
right,
that's a tough one, bro. Don't get into that yet. Baby steps, brother. Baby steps. Get the children's pythons. Get the spotteds. Get the large spots. You know, Stimsons.
Right.
And then work your way. Because I'm not lying to you. Spotteds and Stimson eye and shit, they chow hounds, son. They eat like cow kings. Versus these tiny little bitties are like, fuck no, don't die. You're $1,000. Please don't die. You know, meanwhile, Nick's over there with hognose that are fucking $2,000, and the hognose are like,
eat everything.
You know, and I'm like, fuck, why do I gotta pick all the weird shit? I gotta always pick the weird shit. You know, that's my fucking curse, bro, is the weird shit.
Yeah.
But you know, ball python wise, I still probably have about as many as you do at this point. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But you like tri-stripe.
You know, I mean, I like tri-stripe because I was ground zero of tri-stripe. You know, we bought the very first butter tri-stripe that was actually an African offshoot I got from Brian Maddox early on, bro. Like, you know, because tri-stripe's the most common morph in Africa, period.
Really?
Like hets running around Africa. If you're calling a het tri-stripe a het tri-stripe, right? You'll find them everywhere. You find them all over. You know, there's been 7 male tri-stripes were exported in the same season one year, all from Africa, all from whatever. Tri-hype. I hope it works out. I hope it works out. Like, I don't know what you people expect to happen to your industry if you don't support things like tri-hype. You know, like what I mean? Like, because we're not bringing in new shit, Jason. Like, when new, like, stellar thing have you seen? Like, have you seen this new, like, oh, dude, it's got a light bulb inside of its ass and it's green and, like, no, there's none.
There was Tornado. I saw that recently. That was imported by Justin.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice for Justin to have a morph. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Then he can have his spot in the sun with some of us. I have part of a morph.
Yeah, right. And that's the story behind it. The story behind like puzzle and stuff like that. That's what I like. And I like to have one too.
The deep story. The deep story.
Yeah. The deep story.
The deep. It's weird though. Like it's creepy weird. Like sold the snakes, told the guy to breed them when the other one didn't breed. The whole thing worked out perfectly. The weirdest thing was when I produced the normal puzzle and I brought it to that reptile show 2 hours away from me, 3 hours away from him. And he just so happened to be checking into the room. Have you heard this story? He was checking I finally separated puzzle from pastel and I brought it to a Lafayette, Louisiana Repticon show, one like the very first one in 2012, 11, 12, something like that. I brought it to this Repticon show in Lafayette and I'm checking into this shitty like Ramada Inn thing that they had this show at. And I look behind me and Mike Faircloth, the original buyer of all the puzzle stuff, is standing behind me with his wife. And I'm like, bro, I can't believe you came up here to this reptile show. I brought the puzzle. I'm talking to him like he's purposefully there. He looks at me and he says, Sean, I think it's so weird that I saw you here. I'm here with my motorcycle club. We're going on a road trip. And this was our meetup hotel. And I'm like, whoa, wait. You're checking into the hotel at the exact same moment that I am, 3 hours away from your home, 2 hours away from my home. I haven't talked to the dude in over a year. He's never seen a regular puzzle in real person by itself.
Right.
And there he is right behind me in line telling me he was not there for the reptile show that I was there for. Fucking strange, bro.
That is crazy.
Like strange. Like it makes me think, yeah, maybe you should believe in something. But probably not.
Yeah.
I think it's still a fool's errand, but whatever. I mean, that's it. It's just me. I don't have time for that shit. I don't even have time to go to the bathroom. I do it all on board. So it's like, that's it. I'm like a totally different person now, bro. Like I don't have to go to the, I don't have to take a piss. I don't have to take a shit. Like you just literally roll me down, like give me water, give me food, put me in a box and give me some holes to throw the expert, out. No, and that's it. Like put them in a crate, ship them around the world 3 or 4 times and it's fine. Like I'm totally telling you I could do it, you know, but I'm a pretty carefree individual now. But yeah, that's it. That's it. So, let's see. Let's get back on track here. So they really give you a lot of shit about this Ultramel thing. So do you go to bed at night and see like strange colors of weird pink and yellow on everything? Like everything looks like it's everything in your collection looks like the bad guy on fucking Sin City. Like fucking weird yellow glow. Like he's got too much urine inside.
I wasn't huge into Ultramel until I got my first one. And seeing it, you know, you see all these snakes posted online, seeing it in person was just different, you know. And then when you start producing them, it's just like, God, this is so cool, you know. And then, you know, when everyone likes to put their flag in something. Me, I love Ultramel Clown. You know, we're going for Ultramel Clowns. I'm a huge fan of Orange Dream, Yellow Belly, everything. I'm also big into Cryptic too, or Krypton. But I don't throw that out there like as much as I do with Ultramel. I love Ultramel Clown Pieds, Ultramel Clowns. Those are goals of mine. Pairing for right now for making triple heads for Ultramel Clown Pieds. Eventually throwing into Desert Ghosts and stuff. I'm gonna dive alcohol. See, yep, you just gotta throw it out there every time. Just keep saying Ultramel. But yes, I go to bed dreaming of Ultramel every night and what the future holds for it.
Jonathan Sell says, I love Ultramel. And you know what Jonathan Sell does? He sells reptiles. So he's not an idiot. And you wouldn't tell him he's an idiot either. If you saw him in Daytona, you'd be like, bro, can you go beat somebody up for me? This dude looks like such a brawler. But he's such a sweetie. He's such a sweetie. He's such a nice boy. He's a nice guy, John. I miss seeing you, bro. I'm coming to Daytona this year. I'm going to make my res. Marshall said he's got his res made. I'm going to make mine. And it's going to be a Daytona year. I don't even know if I'm going to Tinley ever again in my life. I just don't know. I don't know if I can bring myself to do it. That long hallway. I just look at the long hallway and I'm like, you know, I know it's down there. You know, I've seen everything down there a bunch of times. So I really want to go push myself down this long fucking hallway. You know, but really the problem with Tinley lately is getting a fucking room, bro. Like that's been like the biggest headache.
Hundreds of dollars, months in advance. I looked into it a couple times. Like I want to go, you know, I'm going to take off of work and go. And it's just like, you know, not, you know, it's because for us, those, you know, key months, you know, in October, we do a lot of exercising where we're generating and doing stuff with aircraft and the same thing with, you know, March too, you know, so getting off of work is hard. So I have to really make it a point to be able to do that. So I really do want to go just to experience it. And if there was one to go to, I feel like it would be Tinley. But I also like a goal for the future is, you know, when I start making like DG clowns and stuff like that, like I said, you know, pairing for that kind of stuff this coming fall, hopefully when my animals get big enough. I want to be the person at like that small reptile show who's got $10,000 plus animals just to show and like people like, who is this guy? Like, we've never heard of you. Where did you come from? And you've got,
well, in that picture I showed you a minute ago with that albino and that hypo in that shot, the year after that, at that very same show, we also displayed a piebald for everyone in 2004. And when we displayed a piebald locally to the Louisiana or anybody really, even when we go to Texas, we bring the pied with us and put it on display. Holy motherfucking hell. Like, it was nonstop and barrage of shit from people. Like, God damn, that's the most beautiful. What happened to its skin? What did you rip its skin off? I mean, I've heard everything that you could say about a pied, and I know one final thing. If you put a gun to a woman's head and you ask her what ball python she wants, it's either going to be a pied or a blue-eyed leucistic. And I don't understand you women. I don't understand why you're not shooting for the stars with all the cool stuff, with the white, with the dots, with the head stripe, with the eye marking, with the thing and all the thing and the other thing underneath, right? And like all the other cool stuff that, like, you give it to me and Kevin McCurley, and we're like, ooh, 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 ooh. We're like that, looking at all the angles. It's like, I remember when he looked at Puzzle, he looked at it and he just grabbed the body and he shows me the head of it like this. He just puts the head of it in my face. McCurley's got it. And I'm like, Kevin, do you want to buy this project? This was in 2010. Kevin did. No, 2009. Actually, Marshall bought that male at that show. Marshall Van Thor bought the very first male. He actually did. Marshall himself, there he is. He said better than going across the street in the hot, humid weather. He'll take the hallway. Marshall Van Thor bought the very first puzzle that was ever sold, the very first male that was ever sold at that show. But McCurley held it up to me and he put it in my face and he was like, Colubri boy, what do you see? And I was like, a fucked up head. And he was like, that's all you need to see is a fucked up head. That's all you need to know. And I was like, so do you want to buy into my project? He was like, fuck no, I got enough of my own shit to deal with. I don't want to deal with your shit too. Go prove it out on your own. And I tell you what, later on when he wrote that book, he told me, he's like, I never really talk about the moments that I wish I hadn't done a thing or done a thing. But in this case, I wish I had done that thing. You know, and it's like, you know, because Kevin would be all over that, bro. That shit would be smeared on your fucking face right now if he'd have bought Puzzle in 2010. But not saying negative against Nerd. So Donnie, don't shoot me. Because of Nerd's collection size, because of Nerd's popularity, and because Kevin is the evil morph god, whom I worship my whole life, puzzles would not be worth what they're worth today.
Yeah.
There would be more of them. There would be people who have jumped on the bandwagon early on versus me being able to trickle out the early years.
Yeah.
Guys like, you know, Will in Canada and, you know, several other people that we were able to trickle the puzzle project out to where we can go over to MorphMarket and look and see single gene puzzles still in 4 digits after 14 years of availability.
Insane
14 years of availability. And they started at 10,000. They didn't start at 100. Okay. They started only at 10,000 and it's taken 14 years for them to reach $1,500.
And that's just it by itself. Don't add it, you know, add one more thing.
I made great money, Jason. I did make good money. I did make good money, bro. I did make good money. I didn't hoard them all. And then when the people wanted to buy my collection and they came to look, they were shocked at how few I had. They were like, bro, this is all you got? And I was like, yeah, I only have 30 animals in the collection completely.
Yeah.
That's it? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm keeping it rare, dude. I've kept it rare. What's so foreign, right? What's so foreign about that? Yeah, Jason. And I would hope that in your future, sir, if you do have the blessing of having a morph come to you, you keep it and you stick to your fucking guns and you make them pay and you make them pay more. And if they keep coming, you make them pay more. Fucking right. You squeeze those assholes for every dollar and you show them your project is solid.
Yeah.
And you know how many people told me puzzle was not solid? A lot. A fucking ton. Because you know why? Because I wasn't Brian, Ralph, Pete, Kevin, or Tracy. If I was any of those 5, bro, my project would have been fucking like an Elon rocket, dude. Elon Mars, right? Like, fuck, pew, gone.
100 grand, everyone. The first
fucking
one, 100 grand.
Gone. Oh, yeah. But because I was a little breeder like you, ain't nobody gave a fuck about Exotics Financiers puzzle. Okay. So
they sure do now.
Yeah, they sure do now.
They sure do now.
But I'm not out there like Ultramel's the only fucking thing, and puzzle's the I'm not out there cheering my shit, telling you it's the only thing. But I'm telling you this: it's got a lot going for it. And when I tell you there ain't a lot of clowns out there where you're like, ooh, 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 right? When you look at it, you look at an Ultramel, you're like, oh, it's like looking at a Monarch. You're like, oh, right? But you're not like, oh, look at that. Like I am with a puzzle. It's almost like if you could put yellow belly all over the animal, like the belly scattering. If you could just douse a yellow belly with everything that it has underneath it on top of it, bro, how insane it would be as a single gene.
Well,
and I'm looking at puzzle thinking this is going to be huge. But I also didn't know that all those other genes were in there fucking with it too. So
that's another one that I want to get into is paint. And I noticed, I forget who it was who was saying it in there.
That's Limey. Limey is now the paint. Limey's like Sherwin-Williams of ball pythons at this point. You know, really, truly. He's out there. He's the paint seller. you know,
from the first time I saw paint. That's exactly what I thought. Is this is yellow belly all over the entire snake, and I want it.
That's exactly what I thought too. And you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't buy into it for the reason of Sentinel, because when it was marketed to me by the guy that named it Paint, by Charlie Gillespie, I believe it was Charlie, right, guys? I said it right. It was Charlie Gillespie that did that one. That did Paint, and then Ben Siegel came out with the Sentinel, and Ben was just whoring them out on his auction. So I was like, "Fuck, I'm not mixing that in my shit." But then again, dude, we didn't see the future, Jason. We didn't see it. For some reason, we thought we had done it.
Yeah, we're it.
Right. We've arrived, right? It's the Rolex moment, right? We've arrived in life. We've gotten to the stage.
Everything is so far from there. We haven't even hit that yet, in my opinion. I mean, I'm new to this.
They would keep looking different like they are.
Right.
I was very wrong. I was very wrong. I was absolutely fucking wrong. If you want to know what to buy and what to invest in, do exactly what I tell you not to do. And everything that I'm selling, buy it right then. Everything that I'm buying, don't buy it at all. Avoid it because it's already passed. Like, I really think that at this point, I can't pick another ball python. And I don't even know if I need to. But you know, I really would like to see some new flashy shit come out and like blow everyone's mind. I don't know what that could be.
Paint's in its infancy, you know. How many people
it's
are
in its
mixing
infancy of mixing, sure. But I could go down the atrocious list and I could have that field day for myself anytime. You know what I mean? Like I could definitely go, you know, down this mega list and say, oh, you know, like right now, Blitz, Hurricane, and Trick are being turned into everything in the world. You know, because of their weirdness. Okay, that Hatari and Grim situation, those animals are absolutely underrated for what they'll do for like lessers. If you look at stuff like this is Grim. Grim's just got a lot more of it than Hatari.
Derek's got a whole bunch of Grim.
And Grim, like, you know, look, I see Brittany's got it. Banana, Grim, Enchi. Like, dude, throw Grim on any of your, or Atari, whatever you want to call it. Grim was first. I'll nod to that. But to look at these, like, look at this lesser Grim. Like, if you have lesser projects that are just ailing and failing and you need to like change them up, throw your lesser projects into Grim and Hatari, okay? Because that is one project that made these animals shine. 404 error. What the
lesser? Fuck? Have you seen lesser cryptic and lesser kryptons?
Look at that shit. What is that?
Insane animals.
John Lehman to the rescue. What the fuck's wrong with your website? Getting a 404 error. God damn. What the hell's wrong, John?
But there's so much to do with a lot of stuff, you know, cryptic and krypton. I keep saying it, but you know, that stuff revives all this old stuff, you know, lesser.
Fuck you and cryptic, because I smuggled it in on my puzzle and it's making my life a nightmare.
I know that. And the same thing, like you said, like, you know, head daddy, you know, I have a Mojave head daddy.
Okay, there you go. Head daddy.
You know,
to bring in,
no one's done head daddy clowns. Imagine mixing Het Daddy with
I don't know why everyone, dude, and I'm not gonna lie to you, when I tell you of all time ball pythons that had envy, and the 46 people that are here right now, go hit the fucking like button and be nice. All right, please
hit the like button and subscribe.
There you go,
so that we can abuse you more in the future for not making the right decision.
Make sure Sean doesn't give up today.
I don't think I'm gonna give up today. I don't think that's it. I think I was just as much a clickbait as the rest of the shit.
There you go.
That's hilarious. Center. Jason is the het daddy of your Discord until I arrived, and you can just call me fucking daddy.
Daddy.
You can just call me that. Call me daddy. That's absolutely it. Absolutely it. Like and subscribe on that note alone. But
that was how I first started talking to you. Was I had a question about it because I was going to sell it. And then the question of, is this what we're saying is possibly weirdo? And you're the one who brought it in. with your lesser puzzle?
I
Pet
think,
Daddy?
well, you know, the thing is that what I was starting to say was that everyone in the world was after Daddy Platty. Everyone wanted a Daddy Platty. Every fucking person in the world wanted a Daddy Platty. It was the most envied ball python in collections. In fact, hold. Oh, here we go. Book time. I got the new desk that I'm going to build for the background when I don't quit. Is going to have the cam. Yeah, I've got the camera light sitting right here. It's just not fucking hooked up. Was Stefan Brohammer's green book. So sorry, green screen people. Green book, ball pythons, this ancient old, and it's very thin. The covers are thicker than the pages. And it's a very interesting read if you want to know how not to translate English to German to English. His translation is fucking shitty and hilarious in some points. But I believe the daddy was in this. Ralph would tell you the story of he paid $25,000 or $30,000 in Africa Western Union for the original Daddy Platty. And when he got it, it was like frozen coming off the plane. And he literally like held it in front of the heating vent his entire way home to put it and set it up, and then bred it to a normal and had lessers that looked nothing like the daddy. And we all were scratching our heads, people. Now you guys talk about things and you're like, oh, that's fucking stupid. Yeah, look, this was for $20,000. This almost silvery specimen found in Benin in 2000 was sold to a U.S. breeder for approximately $20,000. And below it, figure 63, a so-called, quote, clown ball python, this rather popular pattern variation is already being bred. And this would have been the book that came out the year that clowns were actually proven to be genetic. You know, so like that, there's your lesser Daddy Platty wild caught at the top. There's your clown, you know, OG, you know, and you can find pictures of the original clowns and you can see all the blade in the original clowns from Tracy, because she used what she would call pretty females that didn't have a lot of alien eyes. Genetic banded. She used genetic banded animals to prove out her first clowns, thus injecting clown with blade. And so you can not like I'm not trying to take credit away from Brian, because I know he claimed that at one point, but at this point it was definitely Tracy back in the day. Completely inadvertently done. But yeah, the daddy stuff was interesting, and that's how I found out about that with Puzzle, bro. I bred everybody that's talking about weirdo. I bred a lesser Hetari to a puzzle animal to make Hetari het puzzles. Now, the only surviving animals in this project are with Dark Continent DCR in California. He has them. So you may see Atari puzzle stuff in the next year. Like super Hetari, like so super grim puzzle stuff, right? Like super stuff, like homozygotes, not the het shit. So it exists, but I bred a lesser Hetari to one of the original female puzzles. I believe it was the Super Pastel puzzle. And dude, the lessers that came out were all Daddy Platties, except for one. Was a lesser. They were all
someone's
daddy.
Carrying het daddy in there.
And that's what it was. I was like, everybody, Luke Martin, fucking my dudes I go to, right? Like if I'm like, hey, I'm fucked on this. Like I'm fucking fucked on this. I send it to Winston Smith. I sent it to maybe Dennis McNamara. I sent it to, you know, like I sent a picture to like, I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like I see Enchi, I don't see Enchi. I see Pastel, I don't see Pastel. Like I'm Jedi mind trick. Like maybe I did. I don't fucking know. I'm like spinning in circles over here. No pun intended to the wheelchair. But literally feels like I'm like doing fucking loops in my brain trying to figure out if this is really it, right? And honestly, everybody said the same thing. Bro, that looks like a Daddy Platty. That looks like a Daddy Platty Pastel. It looks like a Daddy Platty Pastel Hetari. But some of their patterns were wild, bro. Some of their patterns were absolutely wild. So I think you'll see some stuff out of DCR this year, maybe, and that'll be interesting. But to go down the list, like you said, or like I was saying too, and just pick one of these things that's just like, okay, let me look at, like Grim. Grim has 0 supers. Have any of you guys even seen a super Grim? No. Have you seen an Atari ball?
Nope.
No. They had somebody advertising an Atari for a while. There's no fucking way it was an Atari. It just wasn't. Like, I have one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so
I'm pretty
much
sure
to
I
do
have
left.
one. Yeah. Like, when you see something like that and you're like 0 homozygous of this, that was like me back in the day when I was producing super mahoganies, bro. And everybody's lighting up my phone. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And everybody else is like, bro, nobody's making Sumas. Nobody's making Sumas. And I bought a pair of mahoganies for like $15,000 in trade when Amir first released them. So I was in a sweet spot. I had a Suma male and some mahogany females. So I'd just crank them out. Yeah. I'm just fucking producing cash. Crazy.
Why not?
Exactly. Why the fuck not?
Yep. Why not?
Yeah. Doing something you love, again, doing something you love, sharing it with people that love it.
Money hand over fist.
Doing it legally. Doing it legally, right? I mean, like, I feel bad for all those guys that got out of ball pythons to go do weed because now they're like, fuck, I wish I was still doing ball pythons. Right. That's it. I mean, it's exactly right. It's exactly right. They see the market come back around. They're like, holy fuck. I sold this animal. I sold this Hatari, this super Hatari animal. I'll share this tab. But yeah, this animal, this is what I believe is a super Atari or a super Grim.
Super cool.
By itself, right? Dark morph, super cool. But the thing to look at is, dude, look at the head. Look behind the head. You see that marking on the backside of the head right there? If you've got a mutation that's so fucking strong that it's jacking up the back part of the head like that, that's something special. And that's something 100%. That I think McCurley and me or Brian or anybody like Bob Vu, anybody that's been around the game and they've seen hundreds, if not thousands of each mutation. That you see a mutation, you're like, ooh, that's
something
got
different.
Yeah. And so hats off to Limey, bro. I hope you're making tons of money on paint. I don't think Charlie's around anymore, so I'm sure wherever he is, somebody reach out to Charlie and tell him his morph is now on fire. He just should have waited 15 fucking years for it to happen. And honestly, I think it could happen for anybody like that. I think it could blow up. I think it only takes one little step.
And that's another thing, being in this hobby, right? Like seeing this and being young, right? Like when I say young, like I'm old, but young in this hobby. Seeing stuff that you look at the date that this stuff, like Clown was what, 99, I think is what the year, 99, 98.
What, proven out?
Yeah.
Proven out like 2001, bro. It was a while. Maybe it was 99. It might have been 99 or 98, but like they were all under the impression it wasn't genetic for quite some time. Like,
seeing that like over 20 years ago, and now look at how many, I think, who was it you talking about it last time? Over 4,000 visual clowns available.
Yeah. Like, 10% of the marketplace. 10% of the ball python marketplace is clown.
From something over 20 years ago. Like there's still so much to do with all of this stuff that's just in its infancy that was discovered.
Like 98, 99. You're about right on that. This book was 95. This is the book where they said it probably wasn't genetic. And then this book was, this book here says it was genetic. Right. And this book was copyrighted in 2001. So somewhere in between there. So you're probably right about 99 for clown, but
I'm just taking a guess there. So I knew it was somewhere
considering
around
94 for Pied, and Pied is also 10% of the market.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There's so much stuff that there is to do with everything to mix it that, it's the smart part about doing this stuff is picking your couple of things and concentrating on that and putting it into whatever, doing something slightly different than the other person, in my opinion.
Leaving your stamp on it. Leaving your stamp on it for sure.
Yeah.
Don't buy anything you can't breed. I've been on this kick lately, bro. I've been on this don't buy anything you can't produce. Even though I have a neutered dog, and spayed cats, but it's fine. It's really like a responsibility thing, like now I feel bad Like, I can't kill another black-headed python egg, bro. Like, I can't do it. I've already killed like fucking 35 of these fucking things. And I'm just like, I just squeeze them in. I might as well just squeeze them, you know, because I mean, like, I'm fucking losing my fucking mind, bro. Like, I'm losing my fucking mind on them. So I sold them. So I'm like, okay, if I have blackheads now, what I do is I grow them up to breeders and I sell them to capable people.
There you go. Capable people.
Yeah, I just grow them up and sell them to motherfuckers that know what they're doing. So it's all fine and good, bro. Because all I can do is feed it, right? But God, frustrating as fuck, son.
It's very
frustrating as shit. I can't tell you how frustrating it is. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's like I'm breeding geckos, right? And I didn't know that I pay attention to them. I haven't paired them, and one of my gargoyles, she laid eggs, and I didn't even catch that she laid eggs. I thought she was too young, and she laid eggs and then ate the babies.
Oh, they hatched? They hatched in a cage? Oh, okay.
They hatched. I would, I bought them. I didn't pair them.
Serrated teeth gecko, bro. They eat a lot of meat. That one. Yeah. Eat a lot more meat than their crusty and leechy counterparts do. I think leechies are probably more of a hunter, but gargoyles are fucking wicked hunters. But hey, you know what though? Congratulations for having a gecko set up in a cage, fruitful enough to produce itself, bro. You harvested. There's not a lot of people that can say they harvested. That's all I'm saying. I know you can harvest your balls. You can harvest your balls. That's one of those YouTube moments where maybe somebody that's not in our field caught it. But you can definitely harvest your balls, but not in a commercial sense at all, like you can some of these other things. Like Lone Star, like Earl and Wren Jones down in Texas with the crocodile skinks, with the red-eyed armored skinks. Tribal notice gracilis. They have them set up in terrariums where they literally just go in and take the babies out because the adults actually take care of the young. Where you found out that
would be nice.
Definitely take care of them more in an Italian way. We take care of them or fucking take care of them, right? Yeah, exactly. You mean take care of them or fucking take care of them, right? Like, hey, which one is it? Is it the Christopher Walken type of take care of them, or is it the the Harvey Keitel type of take care of them?
I was on Discord too at the time. When these people, I'm sitting there cleaning out the gecko's cage, and I find these. I found 2 eggs that were buried, and they had the slits in them.
The babies came up. Yeah,
I'm panicking. Like, I'm digging through it. Like, where are they? Mom's big old fat again. I was like, what is going on here? And I searched my entire room. Like, maybe they got out, just trying to hope that they're still alive. Of course, she probably ate them. Like, God. Like,
well, get a lay box in there and start intervening, bro.
Yep. I did. I set that up. I've got another egg from them,
or you like those people out there that are like,
I don't like to do it different than they did it in the wild. Nobody does that for them in the wild.
No,
and you're just like, okay.
I keep my snakes in the racks. I let people want to say all their stuff about whatever. I don't pay them no mind. I do it my way. You do it your way.
Right.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, and
we'll be friends.
At one point, the industry, and it's sad that we have to actually look at it this way, but at one point the industry has to take a thing and say, this is a standard ball python cage. We have to justify why it's okay for us to do this, and but then you have to prove, or you have to look at the grand scope of everything, and that if we gave them bigger cages, they wouldn't utilize the space, and all this 100%. Other stuff. Right. I mean, I think we can agree with that, especially on a ball python's case. But how do you feel about caging and stuff with other species in the future? Since you have your geckos set up, obviously very naturalistic if you have them laying eggs and babies hatching in there. What do you think? Like, a bowling python landed itself at your doorstep, are you like Tom Crutchfield and building a giant room in your house for it, or are you just thinking of a fucking cage from Focus Cube because it looks cool?
I'd take I'd kick my oldest son out of his bedroom and be like, this is where the Bolin's python lives now.
Right.
Those are
you go fucking straight Mike Stefani or Asher Green on that shit. You see what Asher Green did? Asher Green gutted every bedroom in his house, bro. And dude, ripped the drywall out of every bedroom in the fucking house and built lizard cages in every bedroom in the fucking house.
Super cool.
Except for his.
Super cool.
Super cool. Yeah. What do you think? The insurance company's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, right.
See this place. The fucking mortgage company comes by, bank's like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? Maybe they might give you your house. They might be like, here's the deed. We don't even want this fucking place back. We don't even
little did they know he increased the value on the house.
I guess. Who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah. I mean, it looked like a cool project, but at the end of it, I'm just like, bro, I hope nothing happens. You have to sell his fucking house one day. This house is a cage. Yeah. Like, his house is like, hey, Ty Parks, you need a spot, bro? You need like a vacay spot in my town. I'll sell you a fucking, you know what you can do, though? You know what? It could be a really exotic Airbnb for like big money.
There you go.
Right? Like big money, like, oh, bro, come stay in the lizard castle, right? So I'll tell you quick.
Aged freaking Bolin's pythons everywhere. Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, there's a guy that lives in my town. He was a lawyer, and he owned a bar that was not in New Orleans, outside of New Orleans. It was called Sharky's Reef. Okay. This dude is a giant lawyer, like ego, like off, right? Huge. Like huge.
Yeah.
So huge that he's a lawyer that owns a bar, and even huger, you like that? Huger owns a bar with a fucking like 20,000 gallon aquarium in it with a sand tiger shark swimming on the wall.
Jesus.
Look, like I was born without a dick, but you wouldn't believe how big mine is. It's 50 feet long. It's 2,000 feet wide. It weighs 187,000 pounds. You know, this dude's like, what are you doing? Like, you find pictures. I'll find pictures one day of his bar build out where the bar is like in the building, like this much. And this is the aquarium.
And
like
the
it literally was like a 30,000, 35,000 gallon aquarium, 40,000 gallon. It was fucking huge.
Yeah.
So he closes the bar when I'm like a kid still, right? So it's been a long time. When he closes the bar and sells the building, they demolish all the tanks, bro. He takes all the glass and he builds his house up here near me. And he builds a 5,000 gallon South American cichlid or African cichlid tank on one wall and like an 8,000 gallon South American cichlid tank on the other wall. Jeez. So where like in his living room, literally you were sitting there and it looks almost exactly like the exhibit at the Shed Aquarium for the Amazon. Like fucking plants and shit. And, you know, all it, you know, there's all this stuff. There's giant fish tanks and everything. Like absolutely insane that this man is that addicted to that fish hobby that there is no stopping him having a home like that. That is awesome, right? Like I want to live like that, right? Stan Shearis, you know that name? He revolutionized like diamond python breeding, and he was in the ball pythons, kind of big. Stan Shearis. Stan's house was weird like that when he did emerald tree boas, because he did the Amazon basin emeralds. He wrote the first article in Reptiles magazine on Amazon basin emeralds and all that sort of stuff. I truly think that, you know, living like that, cages with plants and overgrown shit, is so awesome and beautiful that, you know, that's something I want to do. So I'm working on it. I'm working on my little room.
Super cool.
My little jungle room that's going to be 75 degrees all the time. You know, and like Jessica said, but cichlids though, because what else can you have in a 5,000 gallon aquarium unless you're a billionaire? What else can you have? Jessica, answer me that, please. Answer me. You know, because you're not going to do shit with saltwater unless you have $1 billion fucking dollars. I mean, I'll show you what a billionaire's reef tank looks like, and you guys can go on Facebook or anywhere and look up Andrew Sandler. And it's an absolutely insane tank. It is a 20,000 gallon reef tank in his home in New York. He is, however, a billionaire fund operator. Like he's a hedge fund. He's a hedgie. This is him. He's a very nice guy. Unless you get into economic arguments with him, he turns into kind of a cunt for a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like kind of a cunt. He really hates crypto. It's like rubbing in his face when crypto's doing really well. I'm like, hey, bro, that shit you hate is doing really well, you know, because he's just a regular stock guy, right? But he's got this tank, and it's insane. And like he does all these features and stuff. It's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild to see this tank that has had millions of dollars. So this is in the basement of a giant home in New York. It's a 20,000 gallon reef tank. It's got cisterns underneath it for water changes. It's got a 5,000 gallon like quarantine room behind it. This is the vision of passion and money to waste. Like if you want to know what passion is and what having something in your fucking home. Now, granted, this dude has got like, he's been on TV now with this tank. This tank has made him an international name. But at the same time, if you come into my aquarium store and tell me that you got an aquarium this big, I'm going to ask you if you have a therapist, and if you ever find one that works, please call me and tell me.
Right.
Because we obviously have the same fucking problem. We're obviously both stupid as fuck. If we have to hire someone to clean the reef. I mean, look at how beautiful it is though when it's on. Like, it is absolutely insane that now it's live corals. Like, I've been watching this tank develop for about 5 years now. And but like the actual embodiment of passion, where this dude just listens to Phil Collins with a fucking glass of wine and kicks back and literally looks at, well, he does these like music nights and stuff at his place. Like, he used to, like, Friday night, he'd play music and like just film the tank and just talk to people about the tank and everything, right? But it's funny because he sounds like Adam Sandler's older brother. Like, he's old Jewish guy from New York. His name's Sandler too. He sounds exactly like what he would be. He's like, oh, everybody, it's Friday night over here at the tank, and we're gonna play some Phil Collins and have a drink. And it's just like, it's really over the top. But this is passion.
The whole thing's over the top.
It's like insane. Like, I've got friends that live here that went to New York on vacation and went to his house and ate dinner with this fucking guy and sat and chilled and listened to music and drank with. The guy is like, I'm sharing this with the world, even though it's in my basement. And again, it has a sub basement. The tank itself has a sub basement because of equipment and water changes.
That's the definition of too much money right there.
Yeah. His fund's like $5 billion or $6 billion. So, I mean, you got to have a write-off, right? So, like, dude, check this out. There's a forum called Roast My Reef. Well, there was before this cancel culture came up. There was a forum called Roast My Reef. And like, people would post your reef tank on there that you posted on your page when you were proud of it and tear its asshole out. Like, I mean, like, if you thought you got roasted for an ugly ball python before, bro, you're like,
reef tank.
You're literally crying. You're like, if my wife sees this post, she's gonna put a bat through my aquarium. I keep telling her it's beautiful. Like, people posting like Little Mermaid bubblers and like plastic plants and reef tanks and shit. But then like real tanks, like I post my 120 that was loaded down with these kind of corals. Andrew posted this fucking tank. On Roast My Reef, drinking his wine one night. He's like, all right, everybody, roast my reef, please. Right. And I'm like, do you watch Billions on Showtime? It's a great fucking show. The main character on Billions is called Bobby Axelrod, and Bobby did all kind of stupid shit with his money. Right. And my roast for this reef tank was, look, Ma, Bobby Axelrod needed a new tax write-off. Because that's what in the show, Bobby Axelrod is pretty much him. A hedge fund manager, so like the dude's got more money than you can imagine. Like, he'll buy like a $5,000 fish and he'll buy 6 of them and be like, oh fuck, and hold a bag of dead ones. Like oh fuck, like, this is a problem.
30 grand, 30 grand.
And Bobby Axelrod totally sounds like a porn name. I agree, TJ. But yeah, so like, I want to see the embodiment of this, bro. I want to see some reptile hobbyists like Asher Green be like, I turned my house into a rainforest. I got a green roof and I got chameleons living on the ceiling, and I got, I mean, like, that's what I want. It's like, because this dude right here is out the box with his shit. Like, he's literally uncontrollable with his shit. I mean, could you imagine a reptile hobby like that?
Oh my God.
If we actually got ornamental to that level, and we're not even there. You realize we're not even there?
No. We have fish are mainstream, snakes are not.
Never mind rack systems. I'm not ripping on racks. You breed in racks, I breed in racks. It's fine. I do it, right? Now let's go to cages, bro. What's a cage? Oh, you go to the pet store and you buy a 20 long and you get a tank on a screen cover and you put an under tank heater. Can we please change this, right? Now I'm with what would you change? Where would you go with this? Is there anything you would like? Do you have your basement in the middle of nowhere and you're like, fuck, I wish this was different?
Yeah, I mean,
what racks do you use?
I use ARS.
Okay, that's a good start. A company that was an improved knockoff of another company who then knocked them off and improved them more. And so like you get the spirit of competition. Thank you, Brian Hahn, for coming into the marketplace. I honestly think Freedom Breeder never would have changed and if it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
I think you truly gave it and stabbed him.
You know, ARS, Freedom Breeder, they're both awesome. The only reason I bought ARS was because Freedom Breeder was like, I can't get you anything for 18 months. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So ARS is like, I'll have it there in 6 weeks. And I went on a trip out of town to go and take my friend who retired to move him. And they called me up the day after I left, like, hey, I know we told you 6 weeks. It's in the mail today. I was like, oh my Jesus Christ. Okay.
Right.
Well, I won't be home for a week. They're like, oh, it's okay. They'll hold on to it for you. Like, oh, thank you. But yeah, ARS, I started out, I made homemade stuff, you know. It was first on when I was watching all of the big people in ball pythons. You know, they said, don't put $200 animals in $3,000 racks. So I made my own. I didn't know how deep I was going to get into this hobby. So I put X number of money towards it. And now, now we're super deep. I got quad hets and shit like that. So it's, spent a lot of money on it. So now it's like, okay, ARS, I get the legit rack, take pictures in front of it, like show people, like I'm in business. But if like, tanks and stuff like that, like I like PVC stuff. But it's like you said, you put some of certain animals in certain stuff and they don't use all the room. I'm not saying that they don't need it.
No, like if I told you the European standard or the UK standard, you wouldn't even abide by it. Like you'd be like, fuck these things. I'm not having these things. Jason, you have to have a 48-inch long cage that's 24 inches front to back for every ball python you have, even a male. I'd
have 4 and we'd be done. Like, oh, cool.
And ball pythons would be what, 4 times the price they are?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what happens if like that interview thing that I had to fill out for the fucking U.S. Fish and Wildlife for the export of ball pythons I'm about to do?
Yeah.
This weird new thing. I've been asked some things that I never been asked before. Like fucked up things that like had ball python named in there. Not reptile, not snake, not captive bred. It had specifically ball fucking python, which means they're looking at you and they're looking at me. Right. And they're looking at all of us. Before we get too far off, you did mention the homemade rack thing. I want to do a shameless plug to my old friend, Tim Bailey. I mentioned him earlier, BaileyReptiles.com. I'd much rather your money come my way. Because of course, even in the case of Jason here, buy from me first. And if I don't have it, buy from Jason. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally fucking with you. But at the same time, like this needs to be out there more for you guys that need resources. If you are young and you would like to get in this hobby cheaper, please go to BaileyReptiles.com and go to the articles, guides, resources tab over here to the DIY to do it yourself tab. And it'll bring you to these. So these are the original plans that I more or less came up with my cousin Mark in the years 99 through 2002, when we established Exotics by Nature in a DIY sense. Okay, like this was my ball python rack, was made out of, now fuck this, I'd use PVC now, I wouldn't use this cloth shit. But we were just, here's the new one, right? He drilled his holes for being BB on them. That's PVC instead of the net top. This rack system, I finally got rid of my last one of these in like 2016, bro. I used these things for over a decade and a half to make millions of fucking dollars in sales.
I mean, why not?
Millions of dollars in sales. And Tim has it laid out for you all. If you suck at building, all you need to do is have confidence, be able to fucking read, and buy a saw that you will continue to use throughout your life. Because once you realize how easy it is to build, you will be then going to the resources tab and clicking on the next liquid gold that I can tell you today, which is this shit right here. The rat rack plans from Tim Bailey on this. You know how much time Tim put in 20 years ago? It's been now that he made this. And I think he even credited. Oh, yeah. Let me preface this by giving credit where credit's due. The original design, Sean Exotics by Nature. Look at that. Oh, he's still here. Right. But this original design, he took all this time to lay all this out, to take pictures of it all, to shoot. Dude, how many rat racks do you think have been built off this one page? in 20 years. Not millions, but hundreds of thousands, but not hundreds of thousands. I would hope at least 10,000 rat racks have been built from
millions
this
of
man's
rats have been bred out of those rat
transposition of this type of rack, right? I mean, because nobody was doing this type of shit. He laid it all out, and this is how we built my racks in my very first store in the year 2000 when we put the rat room in. And I would build them like this today again.
Yep.
And you know what? I still have some of those original rat racks.
It's so easy and
they're
cost
horrible
effective.
now. They're horrible.
It's so easy.
Look, he went into my watering system
money.
too, bro. My watering system. Fuck all the hoses. Spend an afternoon
PVC.
and money on PVC. If you're not armoring your hoses, please think about the amount of time it takes to cut PVC. Once you get it laid out, you can do the layout again and again and again, unless you suck at building and every one of your measurements is fucking off. But you know, if you're good at it, you can do this and have it to where it's solid static. It'll hold, dude, just my water system holds half a gallon of water by itself. And then nothing is ever chewing in it, ever. And if you ever want to clean it out, you actually can clean it because there is a gap. Like you could run some sort of an enzymatic cleaner or something through it if you really needed or wanted to. This shit was golden. Like nobody does this. Nobody does this shit. The PVC with the, you've never seen this? Bro, these racks, I just pulled these nozzles, Jason, from racks that we built in 2003 that are sitting outside my building and I'm throwing away because they're just now not usable. And I pulled all the threaded nozzles out, and I guarantee you I can fix all the parts in the nozzles and bring them right back. But use the 3/8 thread and just drill a hole and just drive the thing right in. You don't have to tap it. You just use the, and look, it sits at an angle sometimes a little bit. He's got it shown right there. But bro,
they still drink just fine.
Solid, and it is such a solid way to do your water that you never have to worry. See all these nice in that image of Monica's, you know,
looks
back
clean,
but yeah, it's clean. It's you know, you can see all the elbows dropping down into the food. And then this was another one that I built when I did rats and wire for holding. This is actually this picture of this is at Tim's, but I built the same exact one. And I made my pans out of PVC. He made his out of metal. This was a disgusting way to keep rats because they spray a lot out. But no lie, bro. You see this rack that it's on is one of those rolling racks, one of those
pull it out and clean.
You know, Sam's Club, Walmart racks. No, fuck that. You could never get this thing clean. The chrome's falling off this thing. This thing was a giant rust bucket from the piss that was on it. It was horrible. But on delivery day, you don't understand this yet. On delivery day of rats, when a motherfucker rolls in and brings 800 rats a week that you're going to feed off in like 20 minutes or 10 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to have cages everywhere to hold these rats, but you do need something to hold them right this second. That's what that bitch was. And you know how we did it? We built these out of welded wire, and we used carriage bolts and big fender washers and bolt the cage up to the bottom of the shelf above it. So the cage is bolted to the shelf above and the pan just slides on the shelf below it. You follow? You can fit 3 of these levels in one of those Sam's Club racks, and you can hang the wire outside of the size of the wire rack. So you don't have to stay narrow like that. You can make it as wide as you want. It's on wheels. It can go outside and be pressure washed. And bro, no lie, that 1 4-foot rack could probably hold 2,000 rats.
Jesus.
Because they get on the wire so they don't overheat, bro. They all go up the wire. So if you got short term, you need to stack live rats. That fucking works. So I'm glad he had that picture in that shot. But yeah, guys, you check out BaileyReptiles.com. I'm throwing him a plug every now and then for these homemade racks because you can be a pro with these homemade racks and literally go to a show and look just like Babu and look just like Justin Kabilka because they don't know what your racks look like at home.
And you're spending money on the right stuff, the animals, saving the money.
Dude. I spent $450, Jason, for every 30 ball pythons in a wooden rack that my competitors spent $2,800 on.
And you'd have, exactly. You'd have to spend 7 times that amount of 7 times the racks. I'd have to remake that rack 7 times before I get to the same.
I think, I don't
It
know
costs
about
money.
Tim, but I know another guy that was like, I got rid of my homemade racks and my accountant told me I needed to spend money or I was going to lose it. I'm like, all right, then call ARS, call Freedom Breeder.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
do you have a dream caging company you'd like to work with that you're not working with now? You like ARS? You're pretty happy with it?
I'm very happy with my ARS. I honestly, I'm up for anything. I would take anyone who wanted to come and say whatever. I mean, the stuff that you're making, super
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm just making PVC stuff for like racks or whatever that are simple for me to do it. But I don't want to get into cage business either. I don't want to.
But that's even the cool thing about people who want, because there's a lot of people who come in the Discord server and stuff like that, or who talk to you like, hey, I'm looking at starting up, because I'm more, reachable than, Ozzy or any of these people who are, big, huge, they got a lot of time. Hey, I see that you just started this. How did you do it? If I could go back, I mean, PVC, I say wasted, days, weeks building all of my stuff. And your PVC racks and the amount of time that, the cost that you can't beat it. The cost of all that stuff, shipped to your door, assemble it. It's perfect. Like that's what I would go back and do that stuff. I buy me some nice PVC racks to start out with, just like that, instead of sitting here with melamine and stuff like that.
I remember
everyone hates melamine. Everyone hates melamine.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. I do agree with you. Melamine is a nightmare. Yet, without it, functionally, the history of reptiles would be destroyed. I mean, melamine was such a mainstay of material for racks and cages. But then this company comes out and it's called Animal Plastics, and he's talking about this revolutionary PVC board that's air and trained and expanded and all these fancy words Mark threw on that shit.
Yeah.
And then I found out that Piedmont Plastics in New Orleans, which is a huge plastics company nationwide, was a prime dealer of the shit. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, I'll just go build my own. And in this room next to me here, I've got, oh, God, bro, we've got probably 20, maybe 22 racks that hold 28 quarts that are 11 high. So that's 222 28 quarts that I built. Yes. I've got a wall of Irish shoe boxes, like 6-quart shoe boxes. That wall holds like 300 shoe boxes, 350. It's empty. No, there's not even. No, that's not true. There's yearling corn snakes that we can't sell in it. And then I've got my baby racks that take sandwich containers. That's what I really want to make. I want to make specialized racks that I can stamp something on them, and I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna be Ed Hardy. I'm gonna be that. I'm going to be that asshole. Fuck your master class. Since you didn't say Sean could do one, you asshole, SERPWorks, even though you support me and I love you. SERPWorks is good. SERPWorks is good people, but at the same time, fuck you for not naming me. Master class, man. I'm not going to be that guy. No, I'm going to be the other guy. I'm going to be the buy my book on infomercial on how to be a successful breeder.
There you go.
I fucking do. So. Well, I really want to talk. We're already very much into this, but I really want you to tell me where you're going with this basement thing. I mean, where's it headed? Where's it headed? Like, I'm gonna give you the full attention of the microphone to tell the people of the bullshit world, the few that are still left.
The future for us here, is. I mean, I love what I do. I love doing this. I haven't found any other passion in my life that is as giving back as this. So obviously, like I said, full-time in the military, 2 years until I can retire. And once I do, this is what my dream job is, to do this full-time. Obviously it's a hard thing to do.
I want to tell you, you can absolutely do this full-time. But it does take sacrifice and hard work and a little bit of luck, a whole lot of luck. I don't really know. I can tell you, Jason, that in my day, you just had to elbow your way through a crowd of assholes to be at the front. And I don't want that to be that way now.
No.
Right. So I want you to know to jump on whatever you love. And that's going to be you. That's going to make you. That's going to make basement pythons, basement geckos. Right? I mean, it's going to define you.
Yeah.
You know, and for that, you know, you want to be full time. I want you to know that I absolutely believe that you can still do that. It's still very now. If you were like, I live in Thousand Oaks, California, and I just bought a house. And like you'd be already like, nah, nah.
No,
It would be like, nah, you hit a button,
done.
like the giant the X button from Family Feud, that loud motherfucker, that bong.
Yeah, done.
You
You
no,
lost already.
no, you're done. You're done. And now, why do you think that? Because I have 5 acres here that cost me $600 a month with 4,000 square foot of building.
Mm-hmm.
$600 a month. I have 5 acres of grass. So lots of tortoise room. Tortoises could just go out there and shit eggs. Like they can just go out there and shit eggs if I wanted them to. But really, like, you know, if you're going to try to compete with me on the same stage, you know, MorphMarket,
you're not winning.
You're not winning that one. So what's the cost of living for you in the setup? You think North Dakota is where you're going to stay and you're good?
No, I'm going to Montana. After I retire.
Okay, it's just a prettier
just to the
rural
left
place.
a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Cost of living here it's pretty high with what we had. I mean, yeah, things are out there. It's expensive.
Well, everybody's got the inflation problem.
Yeah.
Right? You know, but where are we with? Yeah, like shut up about your low mortgage. I'm jelly. Yeah, I'm like whatever.
So
no. It's just a smart buy, and literally the living space is only 800 square feet. So don't go.
I've been here a long time, and I've been here a long time, and I've been fortunate to be able to buy before a lot of the oil field prices.
Okay, yeah, so I just saw that. Yeah, North Dakota cost of living sucks. Oil fields, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking problem if you're not in that industry. You know.
Yeah.
Because those guys are very frivolous.
And they make the prices up here have skyrocketed. So I've been very fortunate with what I do have and how low my mortgage is because I bought early enough, haven't refinanced because of all of the everything. So I've been low everything. So I'm fortunate when it comes to that.
That's good.
But the prices still are very expensive for everything, gas, food. Just like you said.
Right. Everybody's feeling that crunch for sure. But rural places that have industry like oil industry definitely would be even more unfortunate because if you're not in that industry or in a service industry that they spend a lot of their fucking money on, you're hurting.
Yeah.
And that sucks. Sorry to hear that. So Montana, I mean, hey, I watch Yellowstone. It looks like a pretty place.
Yeah.
So, I've never been that far north. I've been all up Wyoming and Idaho and all through like the mountains, the Tetons and the Rockies and stuff. So it's a beautiful fucking place, bro. I would leave my swamp for that shit in a minute.
My swamp.
My swamp. But like I was saying, I mean, we literally could just go drop French fries on the water and have gators just come up. That's my swamp. I mean, I'm 20 minutes from that, bro. Like literally 15 miles south of my building right now is gators. Like that, I can bring you right to them. Like I want to jump on one. Like one of my crazy friends that used to work with me at shows, she was here from Indiana. And we're out on this road. We're on Lake Road in Madisonville. And there's like a fucking 5-foot alligator in the middle of the road. But from 40 feet away, it looks small, bro. This fucking crazy ass Indiana woman jumps out of my car and goes hauling ass after this alligator. Alligator runs up in tall grass, bro. I'm talking like 6-7 foot swamp grass. And she goes running after it. I'm like, yo, don't do that. I was like, I'm still in a wheelchair. I cannot pull parts of you out of that motherfucker. I'm like, you're crazy. Indiana girl thought for sure she was going to get that gator. She got up close to that motherfucker. I heard her scream, holy shit, this thing's fucking huge. I was like, yeah, it looked really small from 40 feet away in the middle of fucking road, But, I mean, it's that common. You're not finding that shit in North Dakota or in Wyoming. I mean, in Montana either. So... Why Montana if you're going to pack and move? Just because you love the beauty of the North?
Yeah, my boss, who I've been friends with for 17 years. I've known him. We were young. We were fortunate to be stationed together for a long time. And he moved out to Montana. And I've been to Alaska, Wisconsin is where I've lived, and North Dakota. Meanwhile, deployed all over the world. And when I went to Montana, it was just, I was like, this is it. This is where I want to go.
Jonathan Sell said, I got swamp 100 feet from my front door. That explains the smell. Sorry, bro. But I mean, the mosquitoes are right. Mosquitoes, that's the Louisiana state bird, bro. The mosquito, the mosquito. The mosquito is the Louisiana state bird, no doubt. And I would enforce. So I wish I'd get some more people that are like, I want to move to southern Louisiana. You're like, because I really want to get some new snake people around here to coach up. I want somebody to build a massive op near me so I can go over there and be like, I remember how this was.
Yeah.
I'd be your therapist. Like, I'd get a good nice couch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of shit I do different, bro. For sure.
You can still do it.
Oh, no, I can't. No, I can't. No, I can't. No, I got other things to worry about.
Fair.
That's it, man. Like, I was telling me and my new employee, we were talking about trading earlier, and we were talking about crypto for a minute. And I was just like, there's a lot of things you can do if you truly have a mind that just wants to soak.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want to soak, bro. That's it. Like, no kidding, Jason, you could be like, hey, come to the range with me. And you're like, all right, check out this silencer I bought. And I'm like, okay. And I'll shoot it. And I'll be like, ooh, right. I wonder how they made that. And that's it. I'm online shopping for a lathe. I'm out, like, no kidding. No, I'm literally like pricing out, like, oh, this guy's got this lathe. It's 4,000 pounds. We can get a tow truck to go get it. Like, that's the crazy mind I have, right? Like, I'm not like, oh, I want to play a video game all fucking day. No offense to you if you're a gamer. No offense to you if you're a gamer.
No, I'm not. I am not a gamer.
Good.
No.
Good. Yeah, my friend messaged me last night and said he was looking at gaming computers. I said, why? And he said, to play games. You have any advice? You have a bunch of gaming computers. I was like, yeah, I know. All I have is gaming computers. I own 4 fairly new computers in all my spots that I have machines and everything else. They're all gaming computers. You know how many games I play? None.
Not one.
Not one. They run 3D software very well. So that's why I buy them. But it's like I told him, I was like, bro, why? He all day, every day, it's reptiles. I want this. I want that. And then he's asking me about a gaming computer.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro? Like, I'm like, no, what the fuck, dude? Corbin, what the fuck? And he's here. He'll come on his chat. Like, so yeah, Corbin, that's you. Yeah, don't buy the gaming computer unless you're going to buy the gaming computer and draw rack systems that I'm going to build for you and charge you for. I mean, in that case, I don't have to draw. I love that.
There you go. With sick software.
Oh, it's lovely to be able to do it. I'm not going to lie, Jason. Like, I feel broke when I go in my ball python room and it has no balls in it. Like, literally none in that room. That room had 700, 800 ball pythons in it. Now there's none.
Nothing.
Not one. But there's a big fucking laser and a router and a stack of PVC and a stack of acrylic. Yeah.
Super.
All that. Oh, bro, don't ask me, bro. I just fucking got hosed on a perpetual today. I got perp hosed for like $400. So don't ask me for advice. This is not financial advice. Do your own fucking research, assholes. That's it. I'll roll these. The views and comments expressed no way affect blah, blah, blah. And this one, you may hear a lot of references to finances, but animals cost a lot of fucking money. So shut up.
Yes,
it's pretty much what this one says, right? We love animals, Jason, and we need to pay for them for food, right?
100%. Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. So how did your wife think about all this?
She supports me, definitely.
Now she
sometimes
where is she from there?
Nope, she's from Los Angeles.
She's from LA. You moved an LA girl to oh my god, bro. How the
we met in the military.
Oh, military. She was military. Never mind. That's fine. That's fine. Never mind. That explains it all.
I mean,
that explains it all.
I always blame her. I blame her for it. She was the one who started me on this.
She came home with it.
She came home with it.
You did it. You fucking did.
I went on the internet. I fell in love with this stuff. So yeah, she can't be mad about it. But definitely like the time and stuff like that. She's kind of like, like, what do you, constantly sitting there looking at everything, doing research constantly, because you can never learn too much. Watching what everyone's producing.
When are you going to be done with this fucking podcast, man?
Yeah.
That kind of thing? Like tonight?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, she supports me wholeheartedly, and that's the best thing. Like, if it wasn't for her, I would have probably first time I had something come out of the egg and die, I'd be like, God, are you kidding me? She's like, it's okay. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it, right? Like you like that encouragement. Like when you're doubting yourself, it's almost like you need that thing, right? Like you almost need it. All right, center, see you later, middle. See you on the right. Middle. They're out. I'll see you around the Discord group.
Yes.
Hustle you guys for some signs or some shit. I actually have to send out a US ARC sign to you guys, but to all of you. You all need US ARC signs, but that's actually boxed right here, ready to go. I was hoping to get it out this week, but with no employees here all week, nobody to run the fucking UPS. I hate UPS is so horrible here. There's like no good place for me to unload my wheelchair, and the bitch won't give me, and I don't mean that as a female, it's actually an asshole guy that I'm referring to. It won't give me the number directly to the center to call when I'm there for them to come get it out of my car. I'm like, bro, I ship FedEx every other day at $60 a box. You guys can walk outside and pick it out of my fucking trunk of my car
100%.
when I pop the back of my car open right outside your fucking warehouse door. I don't have to unload my wheelchair and transfer and everything just to drop a box off, right? So when I don't have an employee, I can't ship UPS. It's fucking ridiculous. Unless I want to do all that shit, and it's just not something I generally do. But, because I'll literally just unload to go in and hand the fucking thing to the person and have to reload. And it's like, fucking motherfucker. I don't get out of my car for gas most of the time. So it's like one of those things. So yeah, that's Reptile. Yeah, Sean, get me my sign. Look, it's wrapped. It's wrapped. It's wrapped
so
and ready to go. It's got a hurricane custom sticker on the front of it. It's got a bottle of super glue inside of it, ready for you. All you need is paint of your favorite colors. May they be red, white, and blue, but I don't know. I don't really care. Be whatever you want. Herps is going to be green and purple. There's no doubt that motherfucker's not going to paint one red, white, and blue. Going to be green and purple like everything else, like his underwear and his fucking, if he wore condoms, fuckers would be green with a purple base. It's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, Tyler, yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. So look, I thank all you guys for coming in tonight. I hope we didn't ramble on too much bullshit. And Jason, I really want you and your Ultramel future to be bright and with less ridicule.
Right?
I really do. I'd like to see you prosper with something, or have some crazy shit like some weird gene pop out of your Ultramel stuff that nobody else's Ultramel stuff has that happen. And you're like you name it like the fuck you morph, like, hey, you. yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And in Serpentine, we'll give you a peace out, right? You're out of Canada in a month or so. Maybe you're shipped to Ireland if possible. I could probably get it to you in Canada because I've got them sitting here on the shelf, right? Ballsh After Dark. I want your final sentiments on everything in the marketplace before we go. We'll wait until 2 hours and 21 minutes to do this, because then anyone that picks on us about picking on the market really had to listen to what we had to say. They didn't just jump in and jump out.
Right.
My
thoughts.
What are you thinking?
I think that everything has its place. Everything has to return to normal. COVID saw skyrocketing prices. Overnight, you couldn't get stuff out the door fast enough. I remember that was one of my first years selling, was the start of COVID. And from TikTok and Instagram,
you spoiled motherfucker. You spoiled motherfucker.
Like this is the only, so far, my hatchling racks have been empty every year as I go into fall, just because I couldn't get them out fast enough, no matter what it was. And then towards the the turn of the last winter or last summer, I couldn't get rid of stuff. So, I still have some last year's babies left. But I think everything's going to return once people have confidence in the market. I'm not giving up. I ain't going nowhere. I love it. But at the same time, everyone needs to have that fallback on, whether it's crypto, second job.
Yeah, that's not a fallback. No, crypto's not a fallback. Well, crypto's as much of a fallback as horse racing. If the dog track is a fucking fallback, bro, then absolutely crypto all day long. Yeah, crypto. Crypto it is. Unless you're Sam Bankman-Fried or Do Kwon for a minute. But that's not even fun, bro. Right. I was trying to tell my employee that. I was like, you heard about that FTX crash, right, in December. And he's like, yeah, who didn't hear about that? And I was like, could you imagine being 27 years old and being the most wanted man on earth?
Oh.
Bro,
Yeah.
the most wanted man on earth, and being a weird, different looking motherfucker too. You didn't look like every John, Jack, and Jill. You know what I'm saying? Like this goofy white looking fuck with his hair and his fucking fat ass face and his acne and shit. You are not fooling this dude. This dude could have tits put on his fucking forehead by a plastic surgeon. You'd be like, hey, look, Sam Bankman-Fried over here. He's got tits on his forehead. He looks like the guy on Little Nicky. He looks like fucking tithead on Little Nicky. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like this dude could, like, you'd still be able to pick him out of a lineup of 1 billion 100%. People. You could put 100 people on that wall over there. I can pick that motherfucker out of a lineup. The most wanted man on earth, son. 27 years old. And then one of the second most wanted man on earth, Do Kwon's another. He was part of Luna, the crypto scam that was early 2022. When Luna fell apart, he was arrested yesterday. They fucking finally got his ass yesterday. So you're like, bro, you're talking about like, yeah, it's a fallback from people that make millions and billions of dollars embezzling shit from other people. Sure. The regular guys like me and you, we make like 20 grand on Doge.
Yeah.
We're there for the GameStop shorts. Like, that's it. Like, oh, this fucking thing was a great deal. Like, I took $2,000 and turned it into 30 grand. Oh yeah. Can you do that every Monday? No. Right. Never again. Like, Doc was there with a fucking lightning rod with salt water on the street. And you were hoping to get the fucking, you're like, dude, I hope the lightning hits so we can go back to 1985. You know, that's exactly it, man. That's it.
Exactly.
Crypto is not a fallback. Snakes, however, rats are a fallback.
Rats.
Rodents are in such demand right now. It's very sad how in demand rodents are right now, because it's going to cause a huge boom in people breeding rodents, and the price is probably going to come down. But I don't know where the reset is, sir. And that's what's got me concerned, because if I tell you, okay, have you ever been part of a business with a product like that manufactured a product?
No, I've been since 18. I have been in the military.
Just military. Okay. So like, if we look at a product, like, so right now I'm making these aquarium control boards out of PVC. This is actually the front of one of them right here. It's got a nice groove system on the back for me to glue all the parts into it, but this is the front. Cool. And somebody just screws their aquarium controllers, their thermostats and things like that all to this board. And then we make a cool little hanging thing to hang it inside or outside your stand. Now, I manufacture this product for one of the largest aquarium companies in the world. I just got this deal not long ago, and we're hustling our ass off to do it. It's where I've been most of these days. I haven't been podcasting, is cutting PVC. But in the case of this, I have a product that has a fixed price when I make it, and it has a price on the market when I sell it. But in this point, I'm a manufacturer. I'm selling it to a reseller who also has to make profit. So I have to make profit. He has to make profit. I have the hard good cost, right? I have the actual hard good cost. I have the machine time. So the wear and tear, how do you quantify wear and tear of machining, right? How do you quantify? You can quantify how much money you spend on rats, how much you spend on racks, right? ARS, Freedom Breeder racks, and
how
on
much
rodents.
Each snake cost you a year?
How much each? Right. You can do this footprint thing, and you can get a pretty goddamn good idea of your yield, right? And now when I told you earlier, like, what if I told you had to keep every ball python in a 2-foot by 4-foot cage? That yield had drastically changed, massively changed, just by me saying to you, you have to increase his cage size by 20%.
I mean, that would cut down profits.
God, dude, how many people would have to just throw their racks away because you couldn't keep a ball python in anything less than a 4x2 unless you broke the law, if that was the case?
It'd be insane.
You know, it'd be insane. So when we look at, all of this as a whole, I do think reptiles are in your future. I do think full-time reptiles are in your future, but only if you are fully dedicated to it. And I don't know how that is being a father, being a provider, because when I did it as a kid who didn't give a fuck about anybody but me. And I don't know. So I can help. And I'd love to help guide you through your path if you ever need help from me. If any of you listening to this ever need help from me, I might not respond to you in a meaningful amount of time. However, If you hit me up like on Facebook Messenger or a place where I'm always responding to people, I will respond to you right away. But if you message me through, you know, this page and fucking Facebook Messenger for bullshit, and or you leave it as a comment on something, get to me. Just get it in my face and I'll happily help you. But I can tell you right now, I don't know what that's like, Jason. I don't want to tell you you can't do it because I've seen people just like you do it. Kevin Fink, KDF, you know, KDF Reptiles, Kevin Fink. Kevin is a prime example of someone who worked in the IT and cell phone community for very many years, was finally so pissed about his job that he was like to Tim Bailey and to myself, do you really think I can do this? And I think both of us said, Kevin, you can do this. Try it. And Kevin never looked back. He's enjoyed spending all of that time with his family and everything. I every time I see him at a show, I'm just elated to see his banner fly, knowing that he took that leap that you will one day take.
Yeah.
And know that when you take that leap, if you are as dedicated as you seem to be now, your leap will be good. It will be good. You will not have.
I appreciate that.
You know,
I hope so.
But it's going to take it, right? It's going to take those moments, and it's not the moments dealing with customers you don't like. It's the moments that you have to sell the snake you don't want to sell.
Yeah,
that's the
to be able to provide for the family.
Yeah, that's the one that hurts. Because then that customer takes that snake and breeds it to a snake he bought like that from somebody else, and he makes some amazing shit.
And then it could have been you.
Yeah, it could have been me. Yeah. You know how many times I see that now? Almost every ball python online. Almost every badass ball python online, right? When you're like, wow, I remember. You know, Ozzy and I talked right after Christmas, and he's like, you know, when I sit down and I think where I am with puzzle, what I've done with DG and puzzle and cryptic and puzzle, and when I think about all of that came from that one female that I traded you a super orange dream spider yellow belly for.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's the valuation though.
Yeah.
Next door, I have a female mimosa that came from Ben Rennick himself. That was a straight trade for the very first male pastel puzzle after Marshall bought his.
Wow.
But a proven breeder adult when Marshall's was a baby. For a mimosa female, that was the valuation. That blow your mind as a noob? Because you're a noob. Even though you've been into it, you're a noob. That blow your mind as a noob? That shit was literally that valuation matched. It matched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So apparently we have a person from what looks like China who thinks we're handsome as fuck. So whoever you are,
thank you
very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, lovely. So yeah. But hey man, they can where do you want to tell them? I know we just rambled because I just wanted to just relax with you tonight. I wanted to see what clickbait we could generate from this.
There you go. Well, first I want to say thank you for letting me come on here. It's like the podcast cherry that's been broken.
Well, anytime.
All of my supporters since the beginning, when I first was the scared guy on TikTok, like I got to get out there. Let's try it. And Instagram, all of the people who are out there.
Here's your Instagram, instagram.com/basement pythons.
Yeah.
You know,
go follow.
Yeah, go follow. You got more than twice as many followers as me, and he's thanking me. I don't really know what that means, but whatever the fuck. I might get something from this guy. I might get some overflow from this dude. You know what? Some ripe fruit might fall off his truck. You know?
Yeah, go follow Sean. Exactly.
No, shit. Don't follow me. Follow this guy. Follow this guy for Ultramel and oranges that are the same color. You know, he just likes things that have that color. Video. He's like a fly to an ultraviolet light on a bug zapper. That's it. Ultramel is his bug zapper.
Ultramel is I love Ultramel. But just, you know, the support from not only, you know, a lot of the bigger people, the ones who've done this stuff, but also the smaller breeders who will come to you and talk to you. It's great. I really do. I have one review on MorphMarket.
It's one
I
review
wish
and it's
people would-
100 fucking percent. That's all that matters, bro.
There
You
you
batting
go.
1,000. It's amazing. You
Batting
know
the
what you
first.
could do? You could do what the puzzle guy did. Quit now. You know that?
While I'm ahead, there you go.
Quit now. You know that? Well, it was sad that he got forced out by illegality in his local area. But the funny fucking thing is that that's pretty much what happened. You know, that's pretty much what happened. He never bred reptiles. He put a pair of ball pythons together and hatched one of the greatest morphs we ever saw the very first fucking time. I'm like, now is the time to take the microphone off, drop it on the fucking floor, and leave. That's it.
Done.
And posthumously let them see your ass on the way out the door. Like that, it really is. They're like, bye. I've been there. I've done it. And this is not that hard. Right? It's like that, you know, I'm the most interesting man in the world. You know. That's funny. Sean usually Omegle or Shaggle to meet new people. That's funny shit. Yeah, indeed. This is my Omegle. Anybody can jump on here like Jessica Steve and make fun of him with the Ultramel thing.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyone can come on here and heal with Amber. You know, I mean, that sounds amazing. So yeah, that's it. Jason's the it person. I don't know who that person is, but whatever. We're about to leave anyway. Look, I would love to have you back. I would love to watch your future if I have a show and you'd like to do it. If you ever find yourself in southeastern Louisiana, Mississippi, anywhere near here, bro, hit me up. We'll hang out.
I definitely will.
We'll go eat. We'll go throw French fries at Gators if you want to. We'll go pollute the world with Mickey D's because it's gotta be better than people eating it. And you know, I mean, at the same time, like who knows? You get a little geeking out on Louisiana Reptile Show from North Dakota, but you'd love the food, I'm sure.
Definitely.
And please let me know if there's any weird, crazy developments in the R.E.P.T. thing on Discord. If you guys have any crazy shit, like I don't really know. I'm not gonna say gaggles of naked women coming. And TJ said I better keep the show. Okay, well, you better get me some guests then, because ever since I was highlighted for being a community record, highlighted for being a fucking, you know, the rest of it. I don't even want to put a title on it because it's so insulting. I appreciate Jason coming on and doing this show with me and being like, I hope he doesn't say anything really bad with me there. I know you were so nervous, bro. No, you didn't. You didn't have full faith. You had 90. You had the 100 that's in red at slanted in the text, but it actually said 97.8. It said 97.8. That's it. That's exactly what it said. 97.8. That's exactly what it said. But, yep. All right, brother. Well, look, sit aside for just a second. You don't have anything else to say to these folks. Well, wait. I have something else to say. Let's go back to this MorphMarket. Because you have one review, which is fine, but you have animals up for sale. So let's go show that he does have a group of animals up for sale. So if you're looking for any Orange Dream stuff, anything that's possible het for Ultramel or whatever, if you're just looking to maybe take a long shot, or if you're like me, what did I tell you earlier about the fucking silencer thing? And I'd researched I went on Instagram and saw one of these dudes doing genetic testing on his kitchen table. And so I looked into it, and for like a couple grand, you can buy all the stuff to do your own testing at home.
Ooh.
Dude, all you gotta do is be able to read a PCR chart. And if piebald looks like this on that machine, piebald looks like that on every machine. Trust me, laboratories are staffed with people that aren't all that smart and one smart guy to run them. That's pretty much it. Like that, I knew a guy that ran a lab once. He's dumb as fuck, but he had some great bosses that knew everything. Like his bosses knew everything. They could fucking go to Mars right now and make a livable planet. This dude could barely cut the fucking grass. That's it. But he did what he was told. Very, very well. So yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. I hope that people will get to basement pythons. Every one of these shows that I make our logos at the top, I save these backdrops so that future times I hope you'll come back, and I hope we can drop these overlays on and you can give. But if you have something you really want to share with me one day, Jason, I want you to shout to me, and I want to do a show with you. Because I think you have a unique perspective, and that is you are breeding reptiles from a submarine on a lonely island in the middle of it. I mean, literally, you are like a unique perspective where you have a sign that says basement pythons behind you and you've never been to a reptile show. You know, and not and just by proximity, you do live in the suckiest place in the country for things like shows. And if you have all that oil money there, imagine what a reptile show there could do. So you know what you should think about? Maybe look into promoting a show. Don't just whatever you do not come south. We do not need you anywhere near us.
Nope.
No, we have enough
I like the
fucking
north.
shows.
I like
we have
the
enough
north.
shows. We have Jason, it's gross. Like I can drive 2 hours to shows like 8-9 times a year here.
Oh my God.
It's gross. Like it's fucking don't. It's like Tetris level 97. You know, it's on you. It's fucking on you. And it's just too much. Too many shows doesn't keep it rare, right? Keep it rare.
Yep, exactly.
So, all right. Well, best of luck to you, my friend. I want you to hang tight for me just a moment while I tell these people goodbye. Thank you. And I know we didn't do a whole lot more talking, just more or less me kind of being
was great.
But thank you. I appreciate it. And this was more or less therapeutic for me. And that's why I wrote the title, guys. It wasn't clickbait. It was Jason and you were going to help me decide this tonight. Do I make this a fucking for sale tomorrow room with all of this gear because I don't fucking need it?
No.
Or do I hold on to it and just hit it every now and then, or maybe once a week for a bit while I try to fix this wall up behind me? Make it more entertaining when I can just sit back and there can be a cage and a thing and some books, and it'll be more like a Mr. Rogers type thing, maybe.
Yep, and some basement python koozies.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, and definitely, send me one of those, and on the next cup orders, I'll get I'll get a better logo from you that you sent those people, and I'll burn up in a cup for you. I got these crazy. You've seen like the aluminum credit cards, right? Like the heavy credit cards that you can't bend in your fingers. I got those cards, black satin, like powder coated, that I can laser out on the other laser, and that's what I'm gonna put on the racks, bro. I'm gonna use this $5,000 laser that I have sitting here that I never use because I bought it to do guns with, and I just don't have time to learn. I'm gonna make the card for the rack systems that I sell. It's gonna be over the top, bro. It's gonna be Hurricane Custom, Sean Bradley Signature Edition, Breeder Collection. It's going to have the weights, and I'm going to weight a fucking rack, bro. It'll have the weights and measures tag. It's going to actually be a metal tag stamped on the fucking side of the PVC rack. Why not? Because nobody else is doing it, right?
They buy that
Focus Cube. Hey,
they buy the rack to get that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, this has got the original tag. Like, number it and everything. Like, fucking like Ed Hardy did shit. Ed Hardy never made T-shirts. That fucking Christian dude did. Ed Hardy did shitty tattoos. He just did shitty tattoos. He didn't even do good tattoos. He did shitty tattoos, and he got a T-shirt line from some other asshole, and they made how many millions of dollars off them fucking shirts, bro? Did you get sick of seeing those shirts or what?
Yeah.
Fuck. You're young, but you're not that young. Ed Hardy was annoying as shit.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that faded away. But you know what? I'm going to have the Sean Bradley Signature Edition rack. You didn't know it, but when you put your snakes in it, everybody, and I do mean everybody, had something to say about it. I don't know if it was good. I don't know if it was bad. But they sure as fuck had something to say about it. Yeah, right.
Sure did.
You fucking assholes. Yeah. Applause to you fucking jackasses. This is it. 2 hours and 42 minutes in, and that button never gets used. And that was the perfect use of it, Jason.
There you go.
I'm going to continue for you and for these other people that want to hear it. And if you don't want to hear it, fuck off. All right, bro. Hang tight for me, okay? Jason, Basement Pythons. Absolutely check them out. Basement Pythons on Instagram. Basement Pythons on MorphMarket. He does have a TikTok also, but I'm not sure if I'll get like listed on some weird thing for recommending a TikTok if the government's getting involved in TikTok. I know that TikTok's being looked at pretty hard. That whole thing, that whole platform might fade here pretty shortly. But hopefully you are steadfastly rooted into at least your Discord group.
Yep.
Maybe we can get a few more people there.
We can, hopefully.
That's it. you know. And Serpentine, Sean, we loved tuning in a podcast when content not focused solely on ripping up the community. I want to focus on animals, caging, futures, past. There's some people stories in there, but I haven't gotten really that shitty with them since I came back. I don't think.
Nope.
I think it's been pretty good. I think it's been pretty amicable, which is not usually a word that people would use with me in the same sentence. You know, I mean, really, it really wouldn't. So, all right, hang tight for me real quick. I said it for the last time, and I will be right back with you. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going to do something a little differently today. Everything was weird. Everything was whack today. Everything was funny and different. But I will say this. I am sponsored by MorphMarket. I'm sponsored by C-SERPENTS. I love him. He's going to send a rack and an incubator, I hope, for the wall. You can see this, right? I hope you can. Let's see. MorphMarket. I did have my Exotics by Nature page up here on MorphMarket. There we go. MorphMarket. Exotics by Nature. There you go. And you can check. Oh, there's those pygmy pythons I just put up. Ouch. Wow. Those things look really good. I didn't put them up. Grace put them up. 4,500. I'll take 4,500 bucks for all three of them. So there you go. You get $300 discount. And a discount is IMG Sharp. Other sponsors. US Arc is not a sponsor, but we support them very greatly. So I would really appreciate you going over there and doing that. And I just realized I didn't share. I'm going to share it just because. Look at these things. Look at these things. Look how red that is. That's the legit right there. That is the legit. That's a 2020, and it's like this long. Like, that's it, right? So, like, these are going to breed next year, and you're going to be in the depth of trying to get little bitty tiny worms to eat. And it's not fun, but it's incredibly rewarding when you do finally get them. Eclectic Tattoo Collective, sponsor here of the Ballsh podcast. Excuse all my notifications and messages that you guys are sending me. I would, let me see. Matt Turner was sending me messages. Matt's a really great guy. I've been trying to get him on the podcast. If you guys know Matt Turner or you're big Python fans, Matt's got all kind of stuff, not just Pythons, but hit that dude up, Selective Origins, and tell him that you really, really, really want to hear him on the Ballsh podcast. Also, Casey Lazick, I haven't left him alone. I've been nagging his ass. He even posted to my picture of my 17-year-old me and said, I remember him. And I was like, why don't you give him an interview then? If you've known him that long. I mean, looks like that kid's grown up and maybe just made something of himself, made a giant shit show of himself at points. But I mean, still, you can still give him a fucking interview, right? I mean, Casey, I love you if you're watching this. I love you for the 3. I haven't hauled off on 3 hours in a while, and we're pretty fucking close to it. So Ectothermic Dungeon, he is on the way out as a sponsor, but in a very good note. I would love to say that Jim LaValle has been a good sponsor, and he's moving to be closer to his family, his son. So I wish him the very best of luck in his journey, and I hope I can keep you. But if I can't, I can't. Nathan at Infinite Possible Pythons, I love you too for doing all that you do. You sponsor other podcasters as well, and I thank you for that. I haven't seen you around much, so please come back around. John Woodruff, man, MADRIVER, he's got the Brian's Army up. And again, not knocking you for going purple. I just don't know if purple works for my logo right now, but and the logo changes and helping cancer. But at the same time, my feelings and heart goes out to the Barchak family and to anyone fighting this. We've been through this with Rico Walder, who passed from brain cancer and stuff. It's very tragic. It's a very hard fight, and I'm here in whatever capacity I can be for you and your family. Reptile Collective. Steve Beamer has been hitting the shows hard. He went to the Raleigh show this past weekend, or when Tinley was there. He chickened out on Tinley to go to a Raleigh Repticon. He might have made more money there than he would have made if he went to Tinley in the sea of people of Tinley Park. Finally, Savage Constrictors. The Savages, Rickie and Becca, are great supporters. And wait, I'm sorry, not finally, but Josh Strange being probably my top supporter in the way of, like, I don't know, dude. Savage is pretty savage when it comes to supporting me. I think it's kind of crazy. I think they have like a secret thing for me. I think they kind of want to do like a 3-way couple thing, but I'm not moving to Florida. And so, and they know that, and she's got the horses and stuff. So I don't think the throuple thing's gonna work. So yeah, anyway, they're very good supporters though. So thank you, Josh Strange. I don't want to be a throuple. We're all good. And I'm not out there for that. But thank you for being such a fucking great supporter, all of you. And I appreciate you very much. Hit the like and subscribe on your way out. 24 of you still here. I'm not sure why. Thank you very much. I promise I will never go disappearing on you again. I kind of disappeared with the fish store, didn't I? Like nobody thought I was going to do it. Everybody was like, oh, he's full of shit. He's just doing that to get money to buy more ball pythons. And then it's going to come back. And he's like, oh, wait, he really spent his money on that fucking fish store. Holy shit. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So I'm not going to get away. And I hope it was a great episode or a good episode. And I hope it does Jason good. I've already done my part in this. I've already got my name out there. Fucking clickbait is wrecking my career of life, and it's aggravating, and I hate it. So don't do it. I wouldn't do it to you. I've never done it to anyone on this show. That's it. Please fucking be nice and start talking about reptiles. Start focusing on focusing on the passion. Is it weird that I thought of the word passion in relation to Barchak, and immediately when all of you started the purple logos, all I could think of was purple passion? Like I just, all I could think of was purple passion. And but like in the way that it came about and how many people jumped on it right away, I love seeing the camaraderie and the fact that it really humanizes us. Like, I don't know if any of you listening to this still were there when I broke my back and stuff, but I know how humanizing that can be from a first person perspective. And then to have friends of mine, well, die, of course, but have serious problems, health problems, physical problems and stuff, to like be there and be like, wow, you were a rock star and everybody worshiped you, but you got sick like everybody else. Like, it really humanizes us. I think it brings us closer to the people around us. And please learn from the situation, and that silence does not heal a wound in this industry or any other. So if you have a beef out there with someone, don't wait for any reason other than just to say you were right or wrong. Just say you were, and that you'd rather be good. So on that note, I'm going to say practice kindness aggressively. I heard a guy say that on a YouTube channel about 3D printing, and then he stopped saying it. He has a little send off at the end. And he's like, all right, be kind to your neighbor, hug everyone when you see him on the street, and practice kindness aggressively. That's what he used to say, but it sounds too aggressive. It's like people actually went in the comments and scolded the dude for telling you to practice kindness aggressively. What does that mean? Like, I'm so happy I'm going to like rape you with a free dinner. Like, I mean, like, what do you, like, how do you really put that on there? Like, I'm trying to make something totally nice and friendly sound horrible at the same time. Practice kindness aggressively. I thought that was a Sean Bradley thing. I was like, I can get behind that. I really can get behind that and push with all four wheels and my hands. I mean, I really seriously get behind that and go. Practice kindness aggressively. I think it's a wonderful statement. And I might steal it because he relinquished it to the pussies of comments on YouTube. But then again, like I said, it's 3D printing, right? We're reptile people. Printers are for pussies. On that note, have a good night. And I'll see you when I see you. Hopefully Off Topic Tuesday this Tuesday with someone. I'm open to suggestions.